Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Friday the 13th. Yeah, a very unlucky day. But don't worry. We're going to help you get through your morning at work, your afternoon at work, help you have a fun morning, and we'll bring the bad luck tonight about 9 o'clock here on the channel. So while we're waiting for everyone to file in, good morning to everybody. And a very special thank you to 007 Cloud, who started the show off with a super chat before we even went live. So 007 Cloud, I appreciate that. Don't watch Dragon Ball Super. It's comparable to The Last Jedi. Extremely inconsistent, ignores established lore, retcons, ass pulls, and shit art. Goku is an idiot, shell of his former self. Don't trust Geekdom 101. Ooh, harsh words. But I'll be honest, I probably wasn't going to watch Dragon Ball Super for quite a while. The only Dragon Ball Super thing I'll consume is I picked up an SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball Super Goku. That should be here soon because I like Goku as a character, and the Dragon Ball Super Goku that I picked up was the like classic styled one. So he looks like he's from Dragon Ball Z because the old Dragon Ball Z one's kind of pricey. So that's the only Dragon Ball Super shit I've spent some money for. Oh man, good morning. Thank you, Billy Ritchie, for asking. I'm glad people that are at work are having a good morning by listening to this show. We got our local listener. Good morning to you, too. Oh, you know what? I'm going to start out today with an Ask Me Anything question. What are my thoughts on AMC's Comic Book Men? Because I saw this pop up in the chat before we get to our 200th viewer and we start the main feature. So, my thoughts on AMC's Comic Book Men. I used to think it was a really good show. I watched it religiously with Joel when he lived here. And then we went to the Secret Stash. And we met Mike and Walt. They were dicks. Went in, wasn't trying to take pictures with them or of them. Fanboy out. I went in because I wanted to buy some View-Askew stuff. And I saw the Bluntmobile and all this shit from the movies. And I was like, oh, man, this is great. And I was buying shit, too. You know, when you walk into a store, a small business, if you will, and you buy something, you normally are treated with some kindness and respect, but they were just complete and utter assholes. So after I had that encounter with them, I just stopped watching the show completely. So at one point I thought it was cool. It was a little staged and hokey, and those guys aren't very entertaining. They only have a show because they're tangentially related to Kevin Smith, who's like a D-list celebrity. You know, it sounds like I always take pot shots at Kevin Smith, but there was a point in time where he was like somebody I was like, man, I wish I could be like Kevin Smith. I mean, not bearded, but whatever. But now I'm just, whatever, I'm ambivalent towards him. Oh my God, good morning from California. It's still like the middle of the night out there, if you ask me. Lime Green Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp was just all right, my friend. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out last night's episode of World Class Bullshitters, make sure you do. It's a long episode, but it's long because of you guys. You had a bunch of questions. We went on to all kinds of topics. It was so good that YouTube sent me an email that said, congratulations on my first live stream. I mean, it's not like I've done 50 of these things already, but whatever. I'll take the compliment from YouTube. So Dion's afraid of mannequins and horses for reasons I don't know why. He says he doesn't trust horses. And that when, you know, he just doesn't like them. I'll send him pictures of a horse every time I see one. To me, a horse is like just I know they hit people in the head at times, but overall, there's just a creature. Like if you saw a horse outside of your house, you just go, oh, there's a horse. You know, you wouldn't be freaking out. If you saw a bear, you'd be like, oh, shit. And yes, Dion is going to be on the High Council this week. I didn't hear back from Razor Fist or anybody else, but Dion is not anybody's second choice. Dion's a first choice. When somebody requested it, we made it happen. So be on the lookout. Now, if Pat from Please Rewind is available, we're going to have him on too, because we had 5 people on this week's show. And when I host, I like to try to take a little bit of a back seat and do the hosting duty so the show flows a lot smoother. So if you're going to watch the High Council for me, don't worry, I will be there in the entire time. Hell, it's on this channel, so I kind of have to be there. But yeah, just tune in for that. You want Dion to talk to Cecil. Well, I can make that happen. I can't wait for Dion to talk to Cecil and Jeremy because Dion just doesn't give a shit. Dion has no filter at times, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Any new people on the Last Jedi stream tonight? As of this moment, I only have Ethan, Jeremy, and Ivan Ortega. Any of the other YouTube people that we're associated with, Or hell, um, like if a patron or somebody wanted to join too, we could make that happen. I can't have like a bunch of people on, but if somebody wants to use their Patreon perk to be on that live stream tonight, you know how to contact us through Patreon. Yeah, Dion is awesome. He's my best friend for a reason. We've had a lot of crazy times. And, you know, even though a lot of times you're like, you move away from a friend and sometimes you grow apart, Dion and I've actually made an effort to hang out more than ever as, you know, as we get older. So shit's good. So, but you guys don't want to hear about my friendship with Dion. When we get to the final 30 minutes of Good Morning Pop Culture, you guys can ask me anything you want. So we are almost to 200 viewers, and then when we are, we will start the main topic for this morning, Obi-Wan Kenobi's movie. A little bit of news slipped out. I don't know if it's 100% official, but it says it comes from a newspaper source. So I guess, you know, the old man in me at 29 years old wants to trust a newspaper source. Good afternoon from Holland. Cool. I didn't realize that we reached that far. Thank you, Moosty, or Moost. Yeah, Tennessee has horses. When we were in New Orleans, there were these mules or whatever carrying, you know, like a cart-drawn mule or a mule drawing a cart or whatever. And Dion was uncomfortable with those too. So I think it's just large creatures. For me, the one thing I'm afraid of are like great white sharks. I don't fuck with sharks, but hey, not I don't have to worry about running into a shark, you know, outside or something. Twistle of Mobius, thank you very much for your super chat. Hey, I heard you guys have been getting book recommendations for Warhammer 40k, gonna throw in Betrayer and Talon of Horus as Abaddon's one fans, or Abaddon's one fan. Well, hold on. Like I always tell you guys, when you suggest something, I write it down so I don't lose it. So here I got there's a Hell's Reach book that somebody requested. Somebody told me to look up the Rian Johnson fanfic theft. Somebody told me to look up Google Voice. Now let me look up Betrayer and Talon. Better than a Hawk and Dove of Horus. All right. Twistle of Mobius, thank you very much for your recommendation. And when I eventually sit down to do all kinds of stuff, I'm going to get that on my list of things to read. Probably if I'm going to read a book for fun like that, it probably won't be till early 2019. I apologize if I'm going to make you wait for that. But I got my Ray Bradbury stuff. I got my other stuff. And then the end of this year is going to get crazy. We're doing our first live appearance. I got my crazy birthday party plans, all kinds of shit. Plus, I don't want to miss out on this show. Moreth the Alien, thank you. Alien or whatever. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names. It's really early, and I didn't get to sleep till late last night. Good morning, pop culture. I got a day off today. Well, why are you awake this early unless you love the show that much, which I appreciate. If you're a super fan of the show and you got up early with us on your off day to listen, thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Billy, that your coffee sucks. Like I told you guys yesterday, I got the Keurig rolling, and I'm drinking this one's not that good either, some dark roast from someplace. So we are well past 200 listeners, so let's get into the main topic. And Mike, good morning to you in Boston as well, my friend. So, this comes from Express. I don't know if that's like the butthole of the journalism world in the UK, but this is what we got. So, Star Wars Backlash. Obi-Wan movie finally has some huge news, especially for UK fans. Star Wars fans across the globe are suddenly very excited about a report in a local Belfast newspaper. As the fan backlash and boycott drama continues to rumble, there have been fears that a planned spin-off anthology movie have been put on hold or even dropped. Solo Star Wars story has been a tremendous flop for the once infallible franchise, with The Last Jedi fans' unhappiness a contributing factor. Not only that, but there were serious concerns that existing fans and general cinema goers were not interested in seeing backstories of established characters. Does anyone still want Obi-Wan Kenobi? The Belfast Gazette reported the booming array of international film and TV projects filming in the city. It said there is news. The news is another huge boost in our growing TV and film industry, with Superman prequel series Krypton also being filmed locally, and the latest spin-off in the Star Wars franchise here coming in 2019, April of 2019. Star Wars creator George Lucas visited Northern Ireland before Christmas to set the deal for the new standalone film. This is where it gets kind of feshy. But fans need to rein in their joy. There are still some major potential problems with the story. The report added the movie will center on the life of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, with Ewan McGregor reprising his role as first played in the 1999 Star Wars prequel, The Phantom Menace. Firstly, Lucas may have sealed the deal before Christmas, but that was before The Last Jedi backlash and Solo shock. Plans can change. Secondly, McGregor has not been confirmed for the role, with other reports suggesting he subsequently accepted other roles while the project was in doubt. And then the rest, just conjecture. The whole article is conjecture. You see, folks, I like a good what if as much as everyone else, but I think what's throwing me off, and as well as a lot of people, is the whole, why would George Lucas go to seal the deal? What does George Lucas have to deal with anything? Maybe this article is them listening to channels like this talking about the fan outrage to sound credible, and then boom, they make up some bullshit. George Lucas doesn't own Lucasfilm anymore. He's not involved. Why would he seal the deal? It's pronounced D-Aline. Okay, cool. So Mareth D-Aline, thank you very much for your super chat again, and I'll make sure I don't forget that. If you guys have ones that throw me off, if you just tell me one time, I tend to remember it. So Mareth D-Aline, thank you. People are saying that Ewan McGregor equals Alec Guinness. People are saying how he's doing great. I like Ewan McGregor. I'm really not going to have anything negative to say about Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. This Belfast Gazette, is this a good source? Is this a reliable source? I've never heard of the Belfast Gazette. Personally, it sounds like they just pulled shit out of their ass to slap it up on a website. But I'm hoping against hope that this is real. This would be something that I'd like to have happen. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi would be cool one more time. I can't believe Disney has done the unthinkable and made someone like me nostalgia for the Star Wars prequels. So, yay, Disney. I'm just reading some of the things about people saying who else could be Obi-Wan. Nobody else should be Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor was fine, and he looks roughly the same. I mean, it's not like he's aged a terrible amount in the last 13 years. He looks pretty good for how much older he's gotten. He looks like the same guy. I saw a picture of Hayden Christensen, and I couldn't recognize him. It took me a second to realize who it was. And thank you, Abomino. And no, not even Jar Jar. I'm not nostalgic for Jar Jar. If you cut out Jar Jar from the Phantom Menace and a couple other things from the movie, you got a passable movie at best. Tim Curry is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Tim Curry can play any role. If they ever make a world-class bullshitters movie, I'm hoping that Tim Curry plays me or Nick. I don't know. I think Tim Curry would do a pretty good me. And then when we make our homage to Clue movie, Who Killed Phil, a Murder Mystery, maybe we'll try to get Tim Curry as the cop. Funny story, folks. We were really working hard to make this movie. And we got an outline for a script and stuff, but then the channel kind of blew up, and I haven't had time to work on it. But yeah, we were going to film a movie at Kendo's house, and it wasn't going to be like some crappy point and shoot camera thing. Nick had all the equipment. I was going to take our Patreon money and get lighting and sound equipment. We were going to make a movie, and those plans aren't dead. They're just on hold because there's all this to deal with right now. Tim Curry plays Dion or Robert Downey Jr. I'm cool with that. Yeah, well, fine. Tim Curry can play Dion. Now, does Tim Curry get a haircut and get a dark tan? Is that how we do it? Could you call an actor wearing blackface if they just get a really strong tan? Like, is Hulk Hogan in blackface when he's like the color of a hot dog? I don't think so. Good morning to you, Rivakist. So let me know what you guys think about this Obi-Wan thing. For me, it seems like a fan's desperate attempt to make some sense out of something. Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much for your super chat. Good morning, Jeff. Nothing like getting paid to listen to world-class bullshitters. Good morning pop culture while at work. I still think Obi-Wan would be better as a series for streaming service. I can see that. I would. If Disney overtakes Hulu, I'll stick with Hulu because it's been Hulu the whole time. But I'm not going to join a new streaming service for Disney. I'll just have Nick, find a way for me to watch it. Jeff finds a way. An Obi-Wan show would be interesting. I just don't want anything to show Luke. I don't want it to contradict any previous canon in terms of like the first movie. And I want the production to look like a movie in every episode. I know a couple of years ago, Lucas had all the scripts written for the Star Wars TV show, but I think it was Rick McCallum that came out and said how expensive it would be. So if Disney is going to make Star Wars on TV, I want every episode to be grandiose and epic. You know, Miami Vice had car chases and explosions and all that shit on most episodes. I expect to see space car chases or spar chases and all that shit in every episode of a Star Wars TV show. You can't pull a Walking Dead and have the first and last episodes have good shit, and then the end, you know, the middle is just boring garbage. Like, you can't pull that off with Star Wars. Get all of Star Wars Gate and have a Google Hangout. Well, Cephas, we have the High Council. I mean, there aren't too many more channels that we haven't interacted with. I mean, I had Mauler, Razor Fist, and Retroblasting on my own, all the High Council guys together. You guys can just, honestly, this isn't even meant to sound funny. Just send your requests to worldclassbs@mail.com, and in the subject line, say, you know, guest appearance requests or something like that. And I keep all the emails. I don't delete a single one. So just shoot that way, and I can have a list, a master list, and we can do stuff like that you guys want. The kind of money in Game of Thrones for Star Wars. I've never sat down to watch more than 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, but I've seen clips, and it definitely looks like a big production. So yeah, Star Wars can handle that. And do, 10 to 12 episodes a year, that kind of thing. And I don't want any bad effects or shoddy compositing. Like, I know we shit on The Last Jedi for all its story problems, but there were some bad effect shots in The Last Jedi. We'll talk about those tonight on the live stream. Midnight Cherry TV, thank you for your super chat. Mystery Men, July 99, episode 1, May. What a year. You know, Midnight Cherry TV, I don't know if you've heard me discuss this, but I've had quite a few times where I think 99 is one of the strongest years in film. I know people are going to throw out other years like 82, but if we look at everything that came out in 99, even some of the more mundane, forgettable films were pretty solid. Like Bowfinger. I like Bowfinger a lot. I'll stand by Bowfinger as being Eddie Murphy's last really, really good movie. Same with Steve Martin. I mean, what did you bring down the house? That was okay. I mean, that's a movie that I remember liking, and then I haven't seen it in, 15 years, so. Oh, I'm seeing some Happy Friday the 13th stuff. Don't worry, folks. Today is not really just all about Star Wars. Star Wars is the lead-in story. Today is also Harrison Ford's birthday, so we're going to talk about Harrison Ford. We're going to talk about Friday the 13th. I'm going to ask you guys some horror-related questions as well as, superstitious questions and stuff like that. Just fun, because it's Friday. It's your last day of work for most of you, unless you work the weekend. And then if that's the case, I apologize. Like I've said on air before, I used to have a job where I worked weekends, and it sucked. When I worked for the 7-Up Pop Company, I got 1 day a week off. That was Wednesday. I couldn't imagine trying to do a YouTube channel and have a 7-Up Pop job. It wouldn't happen. So, oh man, you saw Bowfinger in theaters? So did I. And yeah, I love when he runs across the highway too. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father. I'm gonna do a solo. You know what, Midnight Cherry TV? When you get your channel rolling, we'll do 2 crossovers. One on here, one on your channel. We'll do Mystery Men on your channel, and we'll do Bowfinger here, and we'll do we'll do commentaries together to help get the word out. Cesaria Japan says, "Oola, Star Wars movie will never happen." I mean, I love the green boobs. I mean, is the whole movie like her? Oh, I got it. It's like Space Flashdance. And instead of, winning a scholarship or whatever the hell she tries to win, she wins a job at Jabba's palace. And then, the movie ends with, and her future career plans looked very bright. And then you hear that Rancor crunch, and it's over. That is the movie. There we go. So, we are watching the live stream, or The Last Jedi tonight. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, I don't know what part of the world you're in, guys, but make sure you keep that block open. Now, we're not going to start the film at 9 o'clock on the dot. What we're going to do is we're going to get together and go live at 9, and then we're going to wait for people to file in. We want like 12 or 1,500 people for this. It's Friday night. Unless you're out partying, there's no excuse not to help us with the suffering. I mean, that's what you do for your friends. You don't let them suffer alone. You don't have to watch the movie, but you gotta be here for the support. We need you. I'm sorry that you're in the UK and that's 2 a.m. in the morning. Well, obviously it's only 1 a.m. in the morning. But my point is, I'm sorry that you are going to be, wired and awake on coffee. So Rancor Crunch would make an awesome cereal. I agree 100%. I'm doing a lot of the conceptual work for our t-shirts for the website because when World Class Bullshitters launches their website, I want to have designs that you guys couldn't even imagine you wanted. So there'll be some Star Wars parodies here and there, but there's going to be a lot of cool designs of things that you never thought you saw or would see coming. So, Midnight Cherry TV, I'm glad you like the Twilight Zone and Miami Vice. Lime Green Hulk, you'll be here too. Yeah, EVS is going to be nuts tonight. I can't wait for him to be going insane. He'll be turgid for Tico. No, that would be a shirt I'd wear. Turgid for Tico. 4 a.m. in South Africa when we live stream. Whew, good luck. So, this Obi-Wan Kenobi thing, final points, final topics. If you guys want to say anything about Obi-Wan Kenobi before we move on to the birthday of Harrison Ford, we'll get back to this at the top of the hour. Don't worry. But for me, I want to believe, X-Files reference, that this movie's happening. But the George Lucas points just throw it off. Why would George Lucas be there? It makes no sense. So I'm going to go with debunked. This is horseshit. This Obi-Wan Kenobi movie could happen, but I doubt the stuff from this Belfast Gazette took place. Oh, man. So, yeah, all you got to do is hit play when we tell you to hit play, Billy, and you'll be on the same thing, same time as us. Reed Palancia, watching The Last Jedi is like a dentist working on your teeth without anesthetic. Ouch. My God, that. Here's the one thing. I've been pretty fortunate. Like, I don't have any cavities, so I haven't had to worry about that kind of stuff. They put sealants on my teeth as a kid, but that's about it. But anytime people bring up dentistry, I think of two movies. I think of Wayne's World 2 when he hears Kenny G and he's getting the surgery in the concert hall. And then I think of this movie called The Dentist, where this guy is a dentist and he his wife cheats on him and he does dentistry to her and her lover and drills their teeth out, and it shows it they got these wax teeth or whatever, and it just shows somebody drilling out the teeth. It's gross, but it's cool, and it's an appropriate topic for Friday the 13th. But Reed Plancha, if you can be there, thank you. If not, I get it. But thank you for your super chat. It's greatly appreciated. I'm going to take your $10 Australian, and I'm going to get that converted to American, and I'm going to buy beer. Maybe not Foster's, which is Australian for beer, but I'm going to be drinking some beer tonight. Qui-Gon Jinn is a Force Ghost in the film? That sounds pretty fucking awesome. I would like that. God, how are we wishing for shit from episode 1? What happened to a society, to our society of a fandom for Star Wars? Oh yeah, man, episode 1, bring all that shit back. Oh God. And yes, I love Tropic Thunder. It's one of my all-time favorite comedies. So thank you for asking about that. Grim Falcon, I refuse to buy that movie. Knew anywhere I could pirate The Last Jedi? Well, The Last Jedi is on Netflix. That's why we're doing it. We're not trying to get sales for The Last Jedi or help Star Wars, in a subversive manner. I figure most people that listen to the show have Netflix. So, if you already got it, it's on the streaming service. Just click that play button and we can watch it all together. And if not, don't worry. I'll go into excruciating detail of what scene we're in, and you can hear the and the fuck my life's, for 2 hours and change. The longest Star Wars movie. I think I'll get a new bottle of Crown Royal too to nurse through the entire commentary. It's going to be dark. And I think somebody just dropped something off a truck in front of my house. Yep, there's a huge accident. Oh my God. Okay, anyway, back to the show. Sorry, folks. Yeah, it's going to be a shit show. Dio Brando, thank you very much for your super chat. Liam Neeson is awesome. Yes, Liam Neeson is awesome. I'm a fan of Taken. I'm a fan of Darkman. Qui-Gon's a fine character. Fine enough that I bought his action figure in the Black Series recently. Well, not recently. 7 months ago is recently enough. And yes, Dio Brando, I've seen Timmy the Tooth. I think I have that on tape somewhere. Well, Hernandez, you bring the shade, and we'll give it right back to you guys. Triple XL Ehe is going to be on the defensive tonight. So, guys, let's talk about Harrison Ford's birthday. Wait, hold on. Patrick Stewart has the same birthday as Harrison Ford, says Reed Plancha. Thank you for your super chat, Reed Plancha. I did not know that. I only know Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard and then the king from Robin Hood Men in Tights to tie it back to Mel Brooks this week. We should do a Mel Brooks night here on the channel. Like, you know what we could do? We could do a voting. We could have some voting on Twitter where I do like an 8-hour live stream of just Mel Brooks stuff. If you guys would like that, press F. I'm definitely open to talking about stuff we don't normally cover on the channel to give you a wider array of pop culture entertainment, because I want World Class Bullshitters to have something for everybody. Unless you like golf, then no, we're not the channel for you. Swinging Cod, thank you very much for your super chat. I have never seen The Last Jedi or Crystal Skull. To my brain, they don't exist. Is it awesome? Is it as awesome as it sounds? By the way, your email doesn't work. worldclassbs@mail.com always works. I just checked it this morning. I'll check it again on air because I have cap locks locked in. Log in. There we go. The account is active and live. I'm looking right at it, man. I'm sorry that yeah. We got quite a few emails from yesterday. So yeah, the email works. worldclassbs@mail.com. Not gmail.com, just mail.com. So yeah, if you guys need to contact us, there you go. Sorry, Swinging Cod, if you had any issues. And yeah, Netflix's quality has gone down in the last year. So I agree 100%. I just watched The Twilight Zone and some Power Ranger reruns here and there, but Star Trek's on there too. So good morning. Thank you to everyone that's so kind in the mornings. I appreciate that. Grand Inquisitor, thank you for your super chat. Put this $5 towards a bottle of Crown Black or the bourbon mash for tonight. I will. I'll go. Okay, so the part of Cincinnati, well, not the part, but in southern Ohio is very close to Kentucky, obviously. So where I live, all I have to do is go 10 minutes down the road and I can get into Kentucky. And they have a liquor store called Party Source, and it's the size of a Walmart, like a smaller Walmart, and it's just full of booze and party supplies. So I think I'll take a trip there after the gym this afternoon and pick up something swanky for tonight. So thank you, the Grand Inquisitor. That's definitely going to go towards that. Daisy Ridley is the new Keira Knightley. Utterly forgettable teeth everywhere. Yeah, but I liked Keira Knightley in the first Pirates of the Caribbean. I've never seen Daisy Ridley in something I like. Cheech Marin's birthday is today, too. Damn, there's a lot of good actors' birthdays today. So today is Harrison Ford's birthday. Harrison Ford is 76 years old. He was born in Chicago, Illinois, and he had a series of unattractive wives. Sorry if I offended anybody with that comment, but I looked them up. No. So, as we can see here, some of Harrison Ford's most notable films are Blade Runner, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, that didn't happen, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Fugitive, Random Hearts, Blade Runner 2049, Witness, American Graffiti, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Patriot Games, Sabrina, Clear and Present Danger, Air Force One, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, What Lies Beneath, Age of Adeline, 6 Days, 7 Nights, Presumed Innocent, Apocalypse Now, Empire, Jedi. The list goes on. And I've seen most of these movies. If we're looking at this list alone, my favorite Harrison Ford movie goes to Star Wars because it's my second favorite movie of all time. But the only Harrison Ford movies that I've seen that I hate are The Force Awakens and Sabrina and Indiana Jones 4. Those movies are just... ugh. But tell me down in the comments what your favorite Harrison Ford movies are, if you have any good Harrison Ford memories. Like I said before, there was a point in time where Harrison Ford was my all-time favorite. There was a guy at our market. It was called Findlay Market downtown. It's still around. It still is called Findlay Market. There was this guy. His name was Mike. and he looked just like Harrison Ford. So when I was a kid, I would go out to the produce stand and talk to him and ask him all kinds of questions, like, what's Lando doing? What's this and what's that? And normally, like, an adult would get bothered by it, but this dude ate this shit up. And I'll never forget when I was a kid, he looked at me and says, "Kid, you make me want to live a clean life." I didn't get what that meant at like 7 or 8 years old, but my mom chuckled, and it was awesome when I was a little kid. I always wonder whatever happened to that dude. Like, as a kid, you see him like, oh man, like I looks just like Harrison Ford. That's so crazy. And then, maybe I got older and he didn't look like Harrison Ford to me, or maybe, he got a different job or moved on in life or is no longer with us. But during that late 90s time, Harrison Ford was awesome. I wouldn't put 6 Days and 7 Nights on the list of bad Harrison Ford movies per se. It's a guilty pleasure of mine because my grandma took me to see it in theaters, and then I think she bought it for me on tape. It's not very good, but it's the movie where Han Solo fights Jango Fett. The 90s was a pretty good decade for Harrison Ford. Not as good as the 80s were. I mean, he started out with Empire and ended with Last Crusade, in which he literally rides off into the sunset. So I thought that was pretty fun. Harrison Ford's in a different category in terms of actors. There's the iconic, and Harrison Ford's in the iconic. I don't think he's ever won an Oscar, though. I think he was nominated one time for Witness, but he's never won one. So I'm waiting for Harrison Ford to win his Lifetime Achievement Oscar if he'll accept it. I'm sure they've tried to give it to him in the past, but he just didn't do it. I haven't seen Firewall with Harrison Ford. There's a few Harrison Ford movies I've skipped. I haven't really seen any since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I didn't see Age of Adeline, whatever that Rachel McAdams Good Morning News Story movie was. I didn't see that. I saw the trailers for it. That's why I knew Harrison Ford was in it. But I don't really follow Harrison Ford the way I did as a kid. Then again, as a kid, I mean, we were doing stuff like The Fugitive, Air Force One, What Lies Beneath, all those movies. Those are all pretty solid. Harrison Ford is Ben Kenobi. Well, then you love The Force Awakens because he essentially was the Obi-Wan of the film. No lightsaber, got killed by the bad guy who wasn't that bad. Harrison Ford is the Pearl Jam of actors. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I like Pearl Jam, but they're no... Man, I saw Pearl Jam in concert 3 or 4 years ago. Man, they went on far too long. I never say that about a concert, but these guys wouldn't stop playing. Jesus. Do I think Harrison Ford would be a great villain? Well, he played a villain in What Lies Beneath, which was a Robert Zemeckis flick, I believe. I saw it in theaters, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Harrison Ford play a bad guy in a movie. It may be the only time he's ever played a bad guy in a movie. I think he's too old to play bad guys now. I think he's really just too old to act. Love the dude to death. Looks great for his age, but he just doesn't care. He's so rich, and why would he care at this point in time? Just stay at home and be a dad for the 14th time and stop making movies. You clearly didn't give a fucking Star Wars. Clearly didn't give a fucking Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. No one involved cared either. So just no more Harrison Ford. Oh, he was the villain in Ender's Game. We had to read the book Ender's Game in high school, and I hated it, so I never was going to watch the movie. Fugitive 2 with old Harrison Ford. Yeah, there was a movie called U.S. Marshals. It was The Fugitive 2 with Wesley Snipes. From what I remember, I liked it. But then again, I haven't watched it in probably 20 years, so I was a little kid. Zaire, did I see your super chat about Bollywood movies? Hold on one second. There we go. Zaire, from a super chat, Zaire said, you should watch Bahubali 1 and 2. Great Netflix movies. So how do I pronounce that? Bahubali. Bahubali? Great Netflix movies. Maybe? I'll talk to Nick about it. We'll get Nick involved because, Samoa's not too far from India. And it'll be nice to have an insider's take on that kind of stuff because Nick and I have talked about Bollywood flicks, and Nick will translate some of the shit from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It's pretty fun to watch movies like that with Dion. I don't think I heard how Harrison Ford is with fans, unlike Mark Hamill, who seems like interacting with them. Oh, Harrison Ford's a dick in real life. There are videos of him yelling at people to leave him alone. He really is a crotchety old man. That's why for as much as I enjoy his movies and, get a good feeling towards watching Harrison Ford flicks like Indiana Jones, he's one of the people that I know. He's a great actor, but he's a real shithead in real life. Even he tries to play it off like he's funny on all these late night talk shows, but in reality, he's just, from what I've gleaned from the sources that I've seen, he just seems so unlikable and whatever. So I'm just sticking with that. Mark Hamill, you could walk up to him on the street and be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Shake his hand, give you a high five, take your picture. Harrison Ford will just look at you like, "Yeah, you know who I am, leave me alone." Since I'm like, a large guy, I would push my luck with Harrison Ford, be like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And if he kept saying no, I just keep asking until he tried to punch me. And I could say, "Hey, I got punched by Indiana Jones, and he's a weak bitch." We haven't done a prequel watch party yet. The prequel commentaries are over on our Patreon pages now, but I could get the guys together to do a prequel watch party. Maybe I'll get Dion and a couple other YouTubers, and we'll do a prequel watch party if there's enough of a demand for it. That's what I always say, guys. If there's a demand for stuff, we'll do it here on World Class Bullshitters. And even if we have to do a little bit of learning, we'll do it. All kinds of love for The Fugitive. Thank God. I have The Fugitive on DVD. That's my favorite iconic Harrison Ford movie. Because, oh, sorry, my phone's still on. But he's played all kinds of roles, like Han Solo and Indiana Jones and all that stuff, and he's known for those. His character, what's his fucking name? The doctor's name, Dr. Richard Kimball. It's great for that movie, but he's not like a famous pop culture character like Indy or Han. So outside of those characters, Fugitive's the shit. Dio Brando, have I seen Adam Driver's Adam Driver's Marine Photo? It's really hard not to laugh. Is it the one where he's in a uniform, like with the hat and all that shit? I'll Google that right now as we're talking. Adam Driver seems like an okay dude. I just hate Kylo Ren. I really wanted to see Logan Lucky, but I haven't had a chance to see that. Because I don't know. Adam Driver seems like a guy that could do really stupid comedies and stuff and work. Adam Driver Marine Photo. Okay, so I'm Googling it now. This phone is like 4 or 5 years old. It needs to be put out of its misery. Oh my God, what is up with his ears? Holy shit. A mullet does Adam Driver well. I'm not here to make fun of a Marine. Thanks, Adam Driver, for your service and all that stuff. But man, what a photo. Woo! He looks so unhappy. I didn't realize there was a 25th anniversary Blu-ray for The Fugitive. That's pretty awesome. Alan Hardesty, thank you for your super chat. I will have a good one. And enjoy your last day of work for this week. Take it easy. I don't know if Harrison Ford would have been a good old Nick Fury. Just go watch The Expendables and see how that would have turned out. Oh my God, name 3 good things about the sequel trilogy. You know what? Lime Green Hulk, save that for tonight. Save that for tonight because we're gonna need something to help us distract from the being turgid for Tico memes. SNL is SJW crap. SNL is just crap. Political. That's why I don't watch it though, because I tried watching it last 2 years ago, and it was just Alec Baldwin playing Donald Trump. I'm like, I get the humor. You kind of look like him, but I'm bombarded with politics every other part of my life. Can I get something else? SNL? Can we bring back Wayne and Garth? No. But yeah, final thoughts on Harrison Ford. Good morning to you too, the Pui. Thank you very much for your super chat. It's always nice to see your red and white Stormtrooper helmet pop up here on the channel. No one likes SNL anymore. Maybe that is the case. SNL was awesome back in the day. It had a really good run. The 80s had some good and terrible SNL. Like the beginning in the 80s with Eddie Murphy was solid. Solid. I don't say great, but solid. Then you get into the Robert Downey Jr. season, and it's terrible. And then you get to the very end of the 80s when like Phil Hartman and Dana Carvey and all those guys start popping up, and it gets really good again. Then the early 90s, I'd argue the early 90s SNL was the greatest era of SNL. And then it kind of dies down after Will Ferrell leaves in the early 2000s. And then to me, it's just forgettable. For as much as I like Bill Hader and a lot of actors out there, Bill Hader, Andy Samberg, those guys really couldn't do what SNL needed out of them. There are no Chris Farley and Adam Sandler and shit like that. And I know SNL has always done politics, but it's done it a lot smarter. I don't think the people that work on SNL are as smart as they used to be. I mean, you had guys like Conan O'Brien and Tina Fey working on SNL, maybe not at the same time, but still, those are the caliber of talent they had back then. Now you just got some rejects that are like, hey, it's the same joke over and over again. When did Tina Fey take over? If Tina Fey took over... See, I like Tina Fey enough. I don't think she's the greatest, but I don't think she's that terrible. Like, I like 30 Rock, but I hate Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, so I'm 50-50, I guess, on Tina Fey stuff. I wanted to make a point about something, but here's my point about SNL. A couple of years ago, somebody posted an article or a link about what's the best SNL movie, and I said something, and somebody said Beverly Hills Cop, and I said Beverly Hills Cop is not an SNL movie. Like, well, it has Eddie Murphy. It's an SNL movie. I said Iron Man has Robert Downey Jr. Does that make that an SNL movie? And then they deleted the comment. So I do love me some SNL franchise or SNL movies. Wayne's World's the best. Fanatics of Film, thank you very much for a super chat. New Disney TV series, Star Wars, dead franchise walking. Can we get Susan Sarandon to play Sister Mary Helen Prejean or whatever, and have Sean Penn as a Jedi awaiting execution after Order 66? I'd watch that series. The Star Wars TV series is going to be weird because we don't know how they quantify a show's success. Like Netflix doesn't. I don't think they put out the numbers for their shows. We know the budgets and we know what they spend and stuff on certain things, but we don't say like, oh, it was watched this many millions of times. I think they kind of hide some of that stuff so they can further, maybe not just their agenda, but the idea that their independent shows are profitable, therefore they can raise their stock prices and stuff like that. I truly don't see streaming as the long-term forever thing in terms of, oh my God, I got 12 streaming services. That's like having cable. I think eventually you'll get back to the original Netflix style where everything's more of a united streaming service where a bunch of shit's available in one area. Everyone trying to have their own streaming service is going to fall apart. The only reason that I think the DC one could work is because you get exclusive access to buy stuff as well as comic book subscriptions and all that other shit. So it might be good in that respect. Don't be surprised if Marvel has that or if they put that under the Disney one. I think they should have ended The Walking Dead after the season in the jail. The show's been stupid since then. I don't mean to act like everything is terrible on this show because, in Good Morning Pop Culture, it's the most positive show we put out, and it's a lot of fun. But man, The Walking Dead is just trash. I've never been to a horror convention where The Walking Dead fans elevated the show, except this one lady. Other than that, it's a bunch of people dressed as zombies. Like, when I went to a convention once, somebody that played a zombie in The Walking Dead wanted $50 for an autograph. It's like, what the fuck? How you don't even have a name, but you want that $50? Like, you're not worth it. Let's see. Or Negan would have been whatever. Let's see. Move. Disney buys North America. You've never seen The Walking Dead? Don't watch it. Don't start. Because I was reading the comic before the show. The show came out in 2010. Joel lent me the first couple trade paperbacks from Dark Horse, and it was legit. And then the show came out, and I thought it was going to be amazing. And I liked the first 6-episode season, but then it kind of fell apart. Because the lack of a budget, they don't really have the means to go balls to the wall. Plus, it's on TV, so they have to censor a lot of shit. I'd be happier with a all-short season that's just all the episodes hit. There are, like, episodes that you can just skip completely. Like, I bet you I could pick up the show in the middle of the next season, and it's the same old shit. I think Carl finally died, which was cool, but I'm not going to go back to watching The Walking Dead. Andrew Lincoln sucks. Yeah, he's not a great choice. I heard John Bernthal's supposed to be coming back as like a Punisher zombie. That'd be cool. My favorite, real quick, my take on Game of Thrones. I've only watched the first episode where the kid sees the brother and sister sleeping together, and then the kid gets pushed out the window. That's the only episode I've seen, so I can't give you an accurate take. That one episode I saw was okay. I'm sure it got better, but I wasn't. I don't like sword and sorcery, that type of shit. Like Conan the Barbarian is not what I think of when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So maybe I'm biased towards that type of entertainment. I apologize in advance. Yeah, zombies are overdone. So, somebody wanted to know who my favorite horror character is. Well, the reason I'm going to talk about this early in the first hour is because today is Friday the 13th, the most unlucky day of the year. For us, it's the most unlucky day of the year because we're going to be watching fucking Star Wars The Last Jedi tonight. I could have done the cliched thing and put on the Friday the 13th films, but we've done that. We did that on the last Friday the 13th. I think that was April 13th of this year. And we made it through most of those movies, and it was an exercise in patience because some of those are terrible. But my favorite horror character is Michael Myers, hands down. I'm a big, big Halloween fan. Halloween was the first horror movie that I sat down to watch willfully at the old age of 7. Scared the shit out of me. Was very uncomfortable for many, many, many weeks. Funny enough, though, when the actual holiday of Halloween came around, I was over it and wasn't worried that, oh my God, there's Michael Myers coming to get me. Just didn't care. What the fuck is happening outside? Sorry. Back to Michael Myers. My favorite character. Doesn't say much. The movies are coherent. Like for the Friday the 13th movies, dumb shit just happens for kids to get killed. At least maybe that's more of a bearing on John Carpenter as a film director. He's awesome. John Carpenter is one of the best directors of all time. The only person that had a better decade, in my opinion, in the 1980s than John Carpenter was Steven Spielberg. He had bigger hits, and he had really, really classic films. But John Carpenter had really, really classic films as well. They just weren't as big as Spielberg's hits. No one could deny that. And Lucas technically didn't direct the last two Star Wars movies in the 80s, so I take him out of the running. Because did he didn't even direct Willow. Was that Ron Howard? I think George Lucas produced Howard the Duck? So George Lucas is out of the running for the best 1980s. No, not Rob Zombie's version of Michael Myers, the original 1978 Michael Myers, the true Michael Myers. Oh, McTiernan directed Willow. Okay. I have not played the Jason game. I don't think anyone else can play the Jason game because of that Victor Miller lawsuit. Sorry. 4 hours of sleep is really kicking my ass right now. But no, the Victor Miller lawsuit basically set it up to where no one's going to be playing that game because of the legalities behind the Friday the 13th franchise. So it's going to be an interesting couple of months if that game's just going to get taken. I don't even know if you could play it anymore. Is it just the servers are offline maybe? A lot of people are talking about the Thing's your favorite horror movie. I always thought of The Thing as a sci-fi flick that had really great horror elements. Because if we're just doing strict horror, yeah, the Thing would be high up on my list of both horror and sci-fi films, depending on if we had like a definitive genre for it. I always, go on the side of sci-fi because of it's an actual alien and stuff like that. Yeah, there can be gory, gross sci-fi. Look at Alien itself. That's sci-fi. People say, oh, it's a horror in space. Yeah, it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in space. But I still say Alien is a sci-fi flick. Cesare Japan, thank you for super chat. Rooster Teeth and Motor Trend left YouTube for their own streaming services. What the fuck? I ain't paying 15 different folks to be entertained. One system, please. Yeah, that's what I think. One system's easy because, okay, so first off, you have to pay for your cable internet service, and you know how they bundle everything together. So hypothetically, paying $70 a month for internet that'll be bundled with cable. Then you're going to pay, we'll just round up these streaming services to $10 a pop because I pay a little more for those, but the lower end versions are. So let's just say you pay $10 for Netflix, $10 for Hulu, $10 for Amazon Prime. Well, what's Amazon Prime a year? $100? Was it? We're just going to round it to $10. you're going to get the $40 to $50 a month on streaming services on top of your $80 bill. You're looking at $120, $130 there. If you just had cable and internet and Netflix, you would save all that extra money. And you can't watch everything that's on all these streaming services either. It's not like, like with the WWE Network, you just get straight up wrestling and you get the entire back catalog. That kind of stuff works because they have cornered the market in the professional wrestling world. Netflix original series are very one-sided in terms of politics, but even that, they just tell a certain type of story. And after a while, I don't care about some teenage girl who's having like drama, be it through a science fiction or a horror element. There's really not or they revive really dumb shows. It's nice that Seinfeld has his show Getting Coffee and Cars with comedians and stuff like that. That's cool. Those are nice novelties for Netflix. But there's always that Sense8 show, or the one, what is it? The one where all the adults die and it's just a bunch of kids, and the girl from iCarly or whatever was pregnant. There's just so much dumb shit on Netflix. Like I told the guys off air, I only keep it because Dan and I share Netflix and WWE's streaming service. He pays for WWE, I pay for Netflix, and we switch off the logins. I have no interest in Netflix. I can get shit elsewhere. I don't care. I think YouTube's going to work better for a lot of people in the long run. Yeah, Netflix is definitely going down the same path. But thank you, Cesare Japan. Yeah, I just one or two are doable. Like for me, I have access to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and WWE. I pay for 2 of those, and I share the other 2. Oh, and Shudder. So I have access to quite a few of those streaming services, but I wouldn't be paying full price for all those things. That's just stupid. Nobody watches that much television. Nobody watches that much television. So it's counterproductive. A lot of people are still talking about the horror movie stuff because it is Friday the 13th. Yes, I love Freddy Krueger. He was another horror icon that scared me. And then I started watching those movies and I realized he's funnier than he is scary. So I love Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger. I don't enjoy the remake with Jackie Earle Haley. And the Rob Zombie Halloween movies the first one's okay at best. I actually quoted that movie yesterday, I think on the podcast, because somebody made a poop joke and I said something about a Joe Grizzly special and no one got it or heard me. Maybe I mumbled it, but either way, the first Rob Zombie Halloween's doable. The second one is fucking trash. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters. I took my girlfriend at the time to see it, and it ruined our night. It ruined our date because it was our first date back to college that year. And when Michael Myers smashed that guy's head in with his boot, it killed the vibe for everybody. And I was the asshole because I recommended we go see it. Johnny Five was born on Friday the 13th in October. Ooh. Your birthday's close to mine then. The reason we got into Friday the 13th is just to keep the topics flowing on Good Morning Pop Culture. Some days we talk about the main feature the whole day. Some days we jump around. I think it keeps the show fresh and interesting. And when we get to that final half hour, which is an hour away from now, we're going to do an Ask Me Anything section where you guys can ask me anything. And I'll gladly answer those questions. It's a lot of fun. American Werewolf in London. I would go with horror over. I mean, it's funny. Here's how I would. Okay, I'd say American Werewolf in London is a horror film, but Shaun of the Dead is a comedy film. I think the horror is more visceral in American Werewolf in London, and it's lighter in Shaun of the Dead. The first Rob Zombie Halloween film was kind of had an intense ending. I liked it, but to me, nothing is better than the original Halloween, where it finally builds to Michael Myers about to kill Laurie Strode in the hallway. He's choking her out. She's done. And then Dr. Loomis shoots him 6 times. And then he falls out. And then she's like, it was the boogeyman. And he goes out there to look, and Michael Myers is gone. And you're just like, oh, shit. End movie. I think that's one of the best endings to any horror film. I stand by it. Halloween's the best horror film, in my opinion. No Friday the 13th movie even comes close. None of those. Friday the 13th movies are schlocky ripoffs made to rip off Halloween. And they'll say it openly nowadays. Listen to the Crystal Lake Memories documentary. Good morning to you too, Brandon Moist. But go back and watch that documentary. You'll learn a lot. I wish we had access to like let you guys watch, like actually watch things with us, because I know there's not a lot of horror fans out there. I mean, look, most people that subscribe to this channel let me talk about Star Wars 24/7. That's fine. I can talk about Star Wars all day and other stuff too. But if you're a horror fan, really, please go watch the Crystal Lake Memories and then Never Sleep Again. Those are two like 6-hour documentaries about Friday the 13th and The Nightmare on Elm Street, respectively, and you'll learn a lot. I think those are a good way to introduce people to a franchise. Yeah, I like some horror movies too, not all of them. Not every genre movie is great. Not every sci-fi movie is great. Not every boxing movie is great. Not every everything's great. Fanatics of Film says, first time I saw Halloween, my best friend hid behind a wall and scared the shit out of us with the same exact mask. Oh my god. Thank you, Fanatics of Film. For me, I used to be uncomfortable around Michael Myers masks when I was a little older, so then I bought one and wore it a lot, and now Michael Myers is just a fictional character. Before, even up until I was about 18, I was still like, I don't want to be around some dude dressed as Michael Myers. Always was just kind of creeped me out a bit. But now I've gone so far as to pick up the new Mezco figure. I've gone to pick up all kinds of stuff Michael Myers related. I wore that mask until it melted off my face. I sweat through the latex. I used to wear it. I'll tell this story in more detail when we get to Halloween itself, because Halloween turns 40 this year, the movie, so I'm going to do a little ode to John Carpenter. But I remember wearing that costume up at Michigan State to like frat parties and scaring girls and stuff like that. It was some of the best memories I had from being up there. Fanatics of Film, isn't that a Captain Kirk mask? Yes, it is. They went to the store and they bought some Captain Kirk masks and they painted them white and cut off the sideburns and did a couple things, and that's what the Michael Myers mask is. If you notice, they don't really have an officially released Michael Myers mask that's dead on. There's, I think, what, Trick or Treat Studios, and there's a couple like smaller boutique masks that look accurate to the movie. But like Don Post, when they make a Michael Myers mask, it doesn't look exactly like the film. There's a bunch of differences due to legality reasons. Yes, Blippity Blop. We will find a time and I will come back on the Deplorable Batcave. I had a great time with you guys. I'm glad there's a lot of love for Halloween. You like the tone. You don't find it scary. I dig it. Klaus Dork says, good morning. Which horror movie would you be likely to survive? Again, Klaus Dork, you've had a great string of questions. What would I be likely to survive? Well, I'll give you a couple answers. I would survive Friday the 13th because I wouldn't go to the woods. I'd stay at home. So that's an easy one for you. Halloween, it'd be kind of hard because I know you guys know me on the channel, but if an idealized Halloween is going to a party and doing what you're going to do at a party, and I'm not going to go into details here on the channel, but you know what goes on at parties. I could be snuck up on by Michael Myers and killed that way. But I definitely would survive Jaws, if you consider Jaws a horror flick, because I don't like the ocean, so I ain't going out there. I'm not afraid of going on boats and stuff like that. I'm not like afraid of the ocean. I just don't I don't want to be eaten by any animal. That's the thing I don't like. I don't think like looking at sharks make me uncomfortable, but at the same time, I've actually been to restaurants where they serve shark, and I've considered ordering 2 portions of shark steak just to not eat it, because that means they've had to go out and buy more shark. And, that's one less to eat me. But I know that's really stupid to say, especially when I say it out loud. But no, Klaus Dork, I can survive Friday the 13th and Jaws. Probably The Exorcist I can survive. Who died in The Exorcist besides the priest, though? He jumps out the window when he gets possessed. I'd survive a good amount. I'd survive Pinhead and Hellraiser because I wouldn't open the damn box. I'm not superstitious at all. I just wouldn't give a shit enough to tempt fate or even look at a mysterious puzzle box and go, that's cool. I'm kind of busy. Yeah, let's see. People are talking about the Michael Myers mask. With how big I am, I could charge at Michael Myers. Very true. Very true. As an adult, I would just kind of. Does anyone here know who Bray Wyatt, the wrestler, is? He has this wrestling move where he kind of like runs and throws his body at you sideways. If Michael Myers didn't have a knife pointed out, I think that's the move I'd go for. Because remember, Michael Myers is just a guy. He's not a zombie like Jason. I could pick up a guy that weighs 200 pounds and throw him over my head. That wouldn't be an issue. So, yeah, I could survive a fight with Michael Myers if it was just a straight up battle, no knives. I mean, I'm not impervious to knives or anything like that, or gunfire like Michael Myers is. But speaking of Michael Myers, I am pumped for that new Halloween movie that comes out. We will be talking about that greatly here on the channel. Now, that is the weekend of my birthday party, which where all the guys will be here in town, but we'll do a live stream talking about whatever you guys want on that weekend. Mainly Halloween, but whatever else comes up. Do I have any phobias? Oh, man. I love the Ask Me Anything. People would watch. Like, I would do 10-hour streams of people just asking me random questions about me and just shit like that. I could do that all day. That'd be the greatest job in the world. What are you afraid of? Well, not this, not that. But no, I'll answer this one early. Do I have any phobias? No, I'm not afraid of heights or flying or anything like that, or irrational fears. I just don't like the idea of being eaten by a shark, because I think I saw Jaws 4 as a little kid, and that was the first time I saw somebody ripped apart on a movie. And I was like, oh God, that just seems like the most terrible thing ever. So I think just being eaten by an animal is like a nightmare and maybe a phobia. I don't know. I don't like the outdoors. I'm not afraid of them. Just don't like them. Dio Brando says, what about the evil bong is tempting? Is that tempting? Isn't that the Tommy Chong movie, The Evil Bong? I've never seen Evil Bong, so I can't tell you what about it is tempting, unless you're going to get high beyond belief or something like that. I can't really answer that one. I'm sorry, Dio Brando. Caesarea, Japan. Worst horror movie has to be Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Garbage Day. I got that on DVD. That's how much I enjoy the fuck out of that movie. I've been dying to meet Eric Freeman. If you guys hold on. Oh no, it's not on this computer. Never mind. I was about to say I'll pull up my old Garbage Day drawing I did of Eric Freeman. Maybe give me a second. I'll see if it's still on the old Incarnate Studios website, if that's even still active. Nope, it's down. I took it down. Okay. Yeah, I used to do horror artwork, and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 was one of the ones I did. I'm glad you guys have seen that movie, or at least know the meme. And thank you. Happy Rusev Day to you too, my friend. The DJ D Show. First off, DJ D Show, thank you for joining our Patreon. And he says, I told Geeks and Gamers about Obi-Wan a week ago. I reported it on my Tumblr and Twitter after checking sources. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Like I said, thank you for joining the Patreon. Thank you for this. I don't really, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of Geeks and Gamers stuff as of late. I didn't know that this was later news. I know this article was dated yesterday, right? Wasn't that dated on the 12th? Yeah. Published Thursday, July 12th at 7:53 p.m. I just go by whatever they report. I haven't had a chance to do too much digging in terms of that. I'll tell you, whoever designed the image for this needs some design help, though. That Kenobi a Star Wars logo is shitty. But DJ D Show, I hope you continue to call in. I'll have to check out your Tumblr. If you want to email me that, I'll check it out when I'm off air. But thank you. Yes, Jeff does hate sharks. Kathleen Kennedy must be deleted. Predator film in September. I saw the trailer. I wasn't a fan. I'll still watch the movie because I like Predator and Predator 2. Predator 2 is fine. It's not great. And then AVP movies are dumb. And I never saw Predators. But I'm willing to give this one a shot out of respect for that first movie. That's how you keep goodwill rolling with a franchise. And you don't disrespect the fans. And you give them little bits here and there to keep them along. Dio Brando, thank you for your super chat. I smell an evil bong Patreon watch party. Whatever you guys want, just make it. You know how to contact me there. We can make it happen. But I want to give you guys a heads up. As we've grown, our Patreon's grown a lot. Not just in terms of like figures, but like a lot of patrons. And we have a lot of requests lined up. I mean, I keep a calendar by my computer at all times, and the dates are starting to fill up. So you guys only have Mondays and some weekends available, because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are live stream nights for the channel. So if you're a patron, make sure you guys get those requests in early. Somebody mentioned Johnny Mnemonic. I have a Johnny Mnemonic t-shirt that we got from Blockbuster 23 years ago. Fanatics of Film says, psyched for The Last Jedi tonight. Giant therapy session. Oh, man, it's going to be crazy. Like, you guys are going to make it worthwhile. Like, I'm going to need you to, like, emotionally coddle me. Like, God, it's okay, Jeff, it's okay. I'm thinking about Admiral Holdo right now, and I'm getting very uncomfortable. Like, you guys ever seen that video where the guy gets scared and punches through his screen? I might do that out of anger tonight. So I'm going to need you guys to talk me down off that ledge. My problem with Never Say Never Again, before we get to the top of the hour, I think Never Say Never Again, it's a poor man's Thunderball. It's the same script. We knew Kevin McClory and Jack Whittingham helped Ian Fleming develop the story for Thunderball, and that's fine. They deserve their credit on Thunderball. But him going to the lengths he did to make that film didn't help anybody. Connery looked okay. He wasn't too old. I believe a spy would be that old. But without your Eon-produced James Bond-themed gun barrel, the hallmarks of the James Bond film franchise, the movie's lacking in many ways. The action's lame. The effects are lame. You can tell it's a smaller budget picture. It's not that great. Those are my problems with it. Brandon Moist, thank you for your super chat. Mary, fuck, kill, Rose, Ray, Holdo. Okay, Holdo's going away. So if you're gonna marry in one and fuck one, you're gonna bang them both because you're married. I guess I'll marry Rose Tico and bang Ray, only because Rose Tico doesn't have the Force, and I really don't want to have to be married to a Jedi who's like, out there fighting evil and all this shit and a warrior. That's my answer. I don't want either of them. Can they all be on that light speed ship towards the Dreadnought? Can they just all be on there? Can I just live with C-3PO? Cecil 3PO? Oh, man. Yeah, Hammer of Crom, the girl from Life Force was smoking. Matilda May. Is that her name right? So, folks, it is the top of the hour. Let's get back to that main feature, and then, you don't have to remain married. But it's the top of the hour. You know what, Danny B, your super chat rolled in before I even said it. Not really horror, but your thoughts on Zombieland. I think Zombieland was an excellent movie. I owned it on Blu-ray, and I got to see Zombieland exclusively before it ever came out in theaters. When I was at Michigan State, they gave us a pre-screening, so we saw it a month or 2 months before it even came out. I thought it was great. I thought that was just an awesome, fun movie. Jesse Eisenberg at his best, which isn't really saying too much. But Emma Stone was cool. That little Miss Sunshine girl was good. Woody Harrelson really gives great performances all the time, so it's almost not even noticeable. But that Bill Murray scene, dude, that is the greatest film cameo of all time. Bill fucking Murray. And you didn't even see it coming. Like, it was a twist that you would not believe. So I'll stick with Zombieland being excellent. I love it. We could do a Zombieland watch party around October, maybe a zombie day. Nick and I, there's some scheduling stuff that we're working on, but there could be a day where we do a zombie movie watch party, because you can do these live streams for 8 hours. We could put in 4 zombie movies over an 8-hour window, and we could really have some fun with you guys. If the audience is there, we'll make it happen. So Zombieland can happen. The DJ D Show, again, info is on my YouTube channel, the DJ D Show. Thank you for your time. Thank you, the DJ D Show. Folks, check out the DJ D Show's channel. We got to help our fellow YouTubers grow. And thank you, Midnight Spares. Good morning to you, too. So, it is the top of the hour. Let's talk about the main story. Star Wars Backlash. Obi-Wan movie finally has some huge news, especially for UK fans. Star Wars fans across the galaxy are suddenly very excited about a report in a local Belfast newspaper. As fan backlash boycott drama continues to rumble, there have been fears that a planned spin-off anthology movie has been put on hold or even dropped. So basically, The Belfast Gazette reported the booming array of international film and TV projects coming to the city. It said the news is another huge boost to our growing TV and film industry, with Superman prequel series Krypton is also getting filmed locally, and the latest spin-off in the Star Wars franchise is coming here in 2019. April. I keep skipping April of 2019. Now here's where it gets fishy. Star Wars creator George Lucas visited Northern Ireland before Christmas to seal the deal for a new standalone film. But fans need to rein in their joy. There are still some major potential problems with the story. And it says that the report added the movie will center around the life of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, with Ewan McGregor reprising his role as he first portrayed in The Phantom Menace. It says Lucas may have sealed the deal before Christmas, but that was before The Last Jedi backlash and Solo shock. Plans can change. Well, guys, I said it at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it again. This article, the more I read it, the fishier it gets. What does George Lucas have to do with anything? Nothing. George Lucas, for as much as we love him, miss him a bit, George Lucas coming to Ireland to sign a deal does nothing legally. He doesn't own Star Wars. He can't do anything. So I think in many ways that kind of discredits this article right then and there. Now, are they going to come out with a retraction and try to correct it? Maybe. George Lucas isn't even a liaison for Lucasfilm. I mean, it would be nice if he was. That'd be funny if he actually was, they announced it that Lucas has been taking over some behind-the-scenes stuff. But that's not the case. Ow. What the hell is going on out here? I talk like George is dead or something. He's dead to me, goddammit. No, George Lucas is fine. You know how I feel about the guy. Just, he's not involved with Star Wars anymore. So George Lucas being around is, not happening. Not doing anything. Yeah, it was just to generate hype, John. It makes no sense, whatever. Oh, the Nerdist reported it too. The Nerdist is like, oh my god, I almost threw out the word shill. They're really close to Collider in terms of that kind of stuff. M. Johnson 1072, Star Wars promo budget manager or urinal cake dispenser? I thought the jobs were one and the same, actually. I don't know if Lucas planned this so the audience would come back and deify him, but that would be awesome if he had this Grand Master Palpatine Machiavellian style plan, and that was it. Like, oh shit, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen The People versus George Lucas. I should try to interview Rick McCallum. I'd love to interview Rick McCallum. I'd love to interview, Gary Kurtz would be one of my number one gets. That would be a guy. I know he's never heard of this channel. But, I mean, if he's on Twitter, if I could get 60,000 people to tweet him, you need to go on the World Class Bullshitters channel and be interviewed. I mean, all I'm asking the dude is to sit on his computer and answer 10,000 questions that you guys would have for us. And, I don't know, Gary Kurtz would be number one, but Rick McCallum, I'm going to start trying to get some people like that to interview. I mean, I wouldn't be disrespectful to anybody that we interview. Hell, we could interview Kathleen Kennedy and I wouldn't call her anything terrible. That I wouldn't say anything about her or to her like ears that I haven't already said on a video. I'd be honest with you guys, if I think she's unqualified for her job, but I'd ask her why she makes these decisions and why the shit she pushes in modern day Hollywood, why does she think that's important over a good story? And then I'd ask her, is there someone above you that's making you do these things? I got 1,000,001 questions for these people. Believe me, in my off time, I think about what I would say to these folks. It's not just about, hey, Star Wars, it's about, like, why are we here? Why are we here? If I see Ryan Johnson on the street, what do? Depends on where we are. I would never just go out and hit him or anything stupid like that, because I don't have the money for a lawyer, like, to defend me that way. If anything like that happened, I'd be like, guys, I need your help. I got into a fight with Ryan Johnson. I'm going to go to jail. Can we please raise $30,000 so I don't go to jail? But in reality, I'd probably try to talk to him. And if he starts acting like a douche before I say anything, then I'm going to call him out for being an asshole. But I think the ultimate thing I'd like to say to Ryan Johnson on the street would be to have a conversation with him and make him think I'm all right. And then be like, yeah, but I hated The Last Jedi, but I'm not any of those terrible things you said. And we just had a conversation, blah, blah, blah. Kind of try to make him look stupid or feel stupid. It's like, we're not all a bunch of man babies or racists. We just dislike a fucking movie you made. Will I gag EVS if he says he loves roast Tico? I would never gag EVS. You cannot, unless he's trying to lick the butter in my fridge. EVS needs to have his voice heard. I'd love to interview Irvin Kershner too, but sadly he passed away in 2012 or 11? I know he made it to the Empire Strikes Back 30th anniversary screening. Hell, Harrison Ford showed up for that too. That was pretty cool. I don't think they had one though for. They didn't have one for Return of the Jedi because Disney owned it by that point. Like Lucasfilm, when it was under George, respected the past and made these anniversaries a big deal, and fans could count on, hey, it's the 10th anniversary of Star Wars. Well, nothing really happened for that. There was a re-release in theaters. 20th, we got the special edition and all the toys. 30th, great toys and stuff. 40th, did you notice that the 40th anniversary of Star Wars was very light? There wasn't a really big toy line. The toys were fucking trash. You got these little metal figures, and you got the re-release Black Series figures. You had very few things. It goes to show you that Disney doesn't really respect the legacy or the lineage of the franchise because, yeah, Lucas wanted to make money on the same old shit, but you got excited. You felt good about, oh my God, Star Wars is 40. Had Lucas still been involved, we would have probably got another Blu-ray set, more special features, all kinds of shit about the original trilogy. But with Disney, we got The Last Jedi. I would love to see the Star Wars action fleet, come make a comeback. And folks, I'll be right back in 1 minute. I have to take this emergency call. Well, I love when a phone call isn't an emergency, but they tell you, call me right now, it's an emergency. So, Mom, your wallet is not here at the house. It's in your car. So, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. Glad not too many people left. But no, the coffee didn't have me run off to the bathroom, like said. It would be funny if I started a live stream and I just let you guys talk in the chat and see how it went for a while. So we were talking about Lucas, though, and his respect for the legacy of the franchise. Yeah, damn it, Mom is right. I love my mom to death, but come on, Mom. Good Morning Pop Culture is going strong right now. It's not like she could listen to it at work, though. The people would be like, what is this? Put on the music. Welcome back, Logan Michael. Why'd you change your name? But we're getting close to the Ask Jeff Anything portion of the show, which is my favorite portion of the show, because we can finally stop talking about the depressing nature of Disney Star Wars. It hurts. Plus, I got to have some buffer time for tonight, because we're doing a live stream of The Last Jedi. Oh my God. Let's see. Yeah, I do respect my mom. She's cool. Yesterday, we had to drive out all the way to her job to get her wallet that she locked in her office. I think I need to get my mom like a giant wallet that lights up and like plays music. And the further she gets away, the louder the music gets, so she won't forget it. Kind of like the Joth's theme, Aaron the German, I'd like to thank you for what you do. You really helped me get through my 5 a.m. shift. Well, Aaron the German, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to entertain you guys at work. Like I said before, I've worked early morning shift jobs. I started 7 up at 4 in the morning. I hated it. I know a lot of people out there You got to do what you got to do. I don't really know about certain jobs and all this other stuff, but I know times are hard for a lot of people. Times are good for a lot of people, but early morning stuff really blows. I mean, what's the worst is when you work early morning and the weekends, and then you never see people in their free time. But Aaron, I hope we keep you entertained early. I hope I keep you awake. I know if I had a zoo crew here, we could definitely make you laugh more in the mornings. But I'm glad that you've stuck with us, and I will be here every morning, Tuesday through Friday, of course, to keep you guys entertained on your work shifts. I think eventually I'd like to move into doing it Monday through Friday, but I want to be able to put out videos each day as well. So that's kind of why Monday I can't do Good Morning Pop Culture, do the videos and all that stuff, because it still is in many ways a one-man operation in terms of production. The other guys are on the podcast, and I can't thank them enough for all they do behind the scenes, but I do the recording, the writing, the editing, all that stuff, and I don't want to have a gap in that, because there's a huge chunk of the audience that expects those videos and a chunk of the audience that expects this show. So I want to basically give everyone everything all the time. But Aaron, thank you for your super chat, and I hope when you get off work, you get some much-deserved rest and have a good weekend. Well, John, when the early shift is 8:30 to 5, that's awesome. But like when you're working 5 to 2, those suck. I mean, it's nice to get off work at 2 in the afternoon. Like I remember I used to work, was it 4 to noon? But sometimes you're there longer and you're just burnt out and you're just kind of like, going through life. It's like a really bad lucid dream. The DJD show, thank you very much again. I told George Howard the Duck was good. Then I did an impromptu interview with him in Disney World for an hour. We talked about the sequels years ago. Man, I wish I had a chance to do that. I really do wish I had a chance to interview George Lucas, because I know maybe I'm putting too much into it, but even before Lucas sold Star Wars, if you listen to the shit George Lucas is involved with, it's education. He cares about more than just Star Wars, the art of filmmaking and stuff like that. I feel like George Lucas, if you had a good enough cause in terms of like entertainment or education or something, George Lucas would help fund it a little bit too. George Lucas, maybe he went back on his whole like preservation of classic films with the special editions and stuff like that. But overall, George Lucas seems to be a decent enough guy and pretty accessible if you can find him. I mean, maybe he drives his race cars and all that fun shit, but he also wears flannel and dad shoes. So, he seems attainable, put it like that. But DJ D Show, was George cool with you, or did he seem kind of busy? I feel like a lot of times with celebrities, depending on what they have to do, like if I sat down with Kevin Smith when he had nothing to do, we could probably have a great interview. But if he was trying to go in a million places, he'd be real short. So it just depends on the timing. Yeah, my mom does need a wallet with a chain attached to her hip. Let's see. What's my favorite Wolverine figure? The newest Marvel Legends one is my favorite that I just pre-ordered. Logan Michael, thank you much for your super chat. Nintendo or Sega? Nintendo all the way. I didn't have Sega as a kid, so it was kind of there was an allure to Sega because you'd see those cool commercials and it looked more extreme. And that's one thing that I don't think a lot of companies do properly in terms of marketing. Like if you really want to get kids on board with your product, market it to a slightly older demographic, because little kids want to be older kids and older kids want to be adults. So if you can find a nice medium to where you can produce content that appeals to all of them, follow that and you'll have success. And that's what Sega was for me. I wanted to be older and cooler, but I had Nintendo and Mario. And when I was really little, video games weren't that important to me. As I got to the Nintendo 64 era, so I would have been 10 in 1998 when I got my N64. That's when I really got into gaming. That's when I got full-priced video games. It wasn't about, back when I was little, my mom would buy me a ton of toys and some video games. And as I got older, it was some toys and mostly video games. When I was in high school, my mom was cool. She bought me so many video games, it wasn't even funny. It's like, oh, my birthday just passed, but I need Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Well, happy birthday, Jeffrey. You're a good kid. I'm sitting at a restaurant, or I'm eating at a restaurant. George Lucas is sitting by himself. What do you do? If he's not eating, I'll say hey to him and ask him a couple questions. If he's eating, I'll just wave and walk on because nobody wants to be bothered when they're eating. You know what? Like when we're at conventions, if you stop by and we're eating, just come over. I just don't like to eat in front of people's faces because I think it's rude, but because we probably won't have any to offer you. But, I guess that's what I would do. I would just not, if he's eating, I'm waving. If he's not, I'm going to talk to him. And if I'm really bold and kind of drunk, he's just sitting there having a beer, I'm sitting right down next to him, be like, yo, man, we need to talk. Your shit is secure. And that's a really odd movie reference if you get it. Would I consider playing Knights of the Old Republic? Yeah. The only way I would play it is if I had an Xbox One X. Because I wouldn't spend the money. I don't want to spend $500 on a One X, but I'm not going to buy a One S either. Like, if I'm going to get a new console, I want to get the best version possible. But right now, channel stuff comes before video game consoles, so that's a down-the-road investment. Logan Michael, thank you very much for your super chat again. While I was watching the stream last night, I found that someone stole $1,000 out of my account. Well, you need to call your bank, and you need to get that shit worked out, because the earlier you jump on that, the better your safety is. I had my identity stolen once when I was in college. It sucked. It was right before I was going to WrestleMania 25, and I had money in the bank. No pun intended for wrestling fans, but I had money in the bank, and I was getting ready to go on my trip, and then I have negative balance. And I had nothing, and I was getting ready to leave for Texas in 2 or 3 days. So I went to GameStop, and I sold as much stuff as possible to get cash for my trip. And then I had my mom wire me money through Western Union, and it was a nightmare. And the messed up part is I sold all my shit, and then when I got back from the trip, the bank reversed all the charges. So I got all my money back, but my trip sucked, and I had to sell shit I liked, like Mario Galaxy, Killzone 3 or Killzone 2, whatever the first Killzone on the PS3 was. It was brand new. I didn't want to have to get rid of it. I really liked that game, but I needed cash, so I had to get rid of all that stuff. So, Logan, take care of that early. It sucks. Naglasex, what's up, man? I don't have a PC that is game-worthy. I have a little laptop that I use for work only. Would I possibly stream the Spider-Man PS4 game when it comes out? Like I said, guys, if there's an audience for it, we'll do pretty much anything on this channel that's entertainment-related. But I love Spider-Man, so we could do that. I'll definitely talk about it. I know it's funny, Jeremy always talks about, like, he's a geek and gaming channel, but nobody watches the gaming stuff. If I put out gaming content and you guys watch it the way you watch the Star Wars stuff, I'll like I said, audience, I'll cover anything. Hell, I'll learn about new stuff to cover if there's the audience out there. I won't go as far as learning how to play Magic the Gathering, but if you guys were like, hey, make a video on Pokemon cards, and it got 150,000 views, well, there may be a part 2 to that Pokemon video. This Keurig is delicious and dangerous because I've gone through like half a gallon of water, which means I've gone through almost like a half a gallon of coffee. And I'm not going to stop anytime soon. I have not played God of War 4 yet, guys. I have not played God of War 4. You know what? Do you guys want to just press F and have me start doing the Ask Me Anything portion of the show? It's Friday. Let's just keep things fun and informal. So press F, and we'll get into that segment of, Ask Jeff Anything. Fanatics of Film, thank you very much for your super chat. Any serious filming plans for Star Wars Celebration? If you get bored, please capture that on film. Fanatics of Film, not only do we have plans, we're going to make a documentary, and I do mean like an actual documentary. We're working on it now. We're actually Indianapolis Horror Hound is like our test for Star Wars Celebration, because as much as I like Horror Hound and hanging out with horror people, and it's a lot of fun because you go to a convention, there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of partying. It's an adult convention without being at AVN. But we're using that as a testing ground to how to film stuff, how we have Wi-Fi, this, that, and the other. Because when we go to Star Wars Celebration, we're going to film an actual documentary about the current state of Star Wars. Like, you're not going to get that on any other channel. If anybody else does it after us, cool. They're ripping us off. They're just following us along. But we're in this for the long haul, and we want to document where we've been in terms of Star Wars fandom and where we're going, and that this Star Wars Celebration is the catalyst. It's the first. It's like it's our Battle of Yavin. It's our Death Star trench run. No. Let me take that back. It is our. I don't want to say it's our Scarif because they die and lose, but it's like our first. It is our Death Star trench run, and then the Battle of Endor would be episode 9 later in the year. Like, we're going to have to go through some battles, but I want to document everything, and we're going to make Nick's bringing his film camera. It's not just myself and the guys from the show, but Brian Lape's going to go with us because Brian Lape is our 5th Beatle, and he's going to film stuff because he's a film nerd. So we're going to have some really good quality stuff, and we're going to find a way when we do live streaming to live stream in 1080p live at the show. We're working on all kinds of stuff. We're not just going to be holding our phones up, walking around, talking about, cosplay R2-D2. We're going to really put a lot of time into what we're doing and make some stuff that is going to be watched for long periods of time. There'll be a documentary coming from that. So yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Fanatics of Film. Generic Edgelord says, stream Spoderman. Sure, we'll stream Spoderman. Spoderman does whatever a Spoder can. Tons of F's, so I guess it means it's time to ask Jeff anything. Logan Michael, what news did I miss? Well, Logan Michael, the Belfast Gazette out of Belfast, Ireland, is stating that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be filming in April of 2019. So their report contradicts what we've heard from other news sources, but the report also says that George Lucas finalized the deal before Christmas, which makes no sense because George Lucas is no longer involved at Lucasfilm. Quote a favorite movie line from any movie off the top of your head. Now, Biff, don't con me. Back to the Future comes first. I'm a bear for details. That comes from Fletch. They've gone to plaid. I have legs. You can figure that one out yourself. It'd be inside or outside of Celebration. I bought tickets for 5 guys to go to Celebration itself. So we're going to be in the actual hall. Now, while we have our certain stance on Star Wars, we're going to play the game to get in the show. I'm not going to get kicked out. If they try to kick us out, see, the thing is, we're going to be constantly filming like ourselves. So, and maybe even live streaming that part through a GoPro or something. That way they can't say we attempted to do anything or harass, or they can't really smear our name. Basically, we're going to keep ourselves covered on all fronts to protect ourselves. We're not going to go out of our way to attack anyone. And we're going to ask people to be interviewed and stuff like that. Fans, cosplayers, old, young, all that stuff. And get a different, interesting take on all of Star Wars. But we're not going to be doing anything to get ourselves booted out, at least the first day. Would I have Comic Book Girl 19 on the show? Hey, if she'll have us, she's cool in my book. So as long as she doesn't bring that robot thing, she's invited on the show. Brandon Moist. Let's see what Brandon Moist had to say in the super chat. Does a straw have 1 or 2 holes? Ooh, that's a good question. Should a straw actually have a hole, though? Because if there are no openings on a straw, it's just a tube. Therefore, it's no longer a straw. I know that's a weird thing to say, but that's my answer for it. Frank Bullitt, you're right. Most people did die at the Battle of Yavin, but 4 people survived, and there's 4 people on the channel. So there we go. I'll be Luke Skywalker. Dion's Han. Kendo's Chewbacca. Brian Lape is Wedge. Nick is that random Y-wing that made it. New York Comic-Con, definitely not this coming year, but 1 year. 1 year. My favorite anime is either Golgo 13 or Lupin the Third. Now, which Lupin the Third, you ask? Red Jacket second series or Fujikomine or the Gravestone of Jigen? Jigen's Gravestone. I like a lot of Lupin the Third. That is my jam. And Golgo 13 is the fucking man. Do I watch Grace Randolph? No. I saw her big video. I think everybody saw that video, but overall, I don't watch her channel. A straw is a flexible tube or tunnel, doesn't have holes, unlike Ray, who has a few too many holes. Oh, man. See, you guys definitely make the morning show fun. I'm barely with it until I get jacked up on caffeine, but we have a laugh. We have some fun. It's funny. Guys like Aaron the German are like, thanks for helping me get through my morning shift at 5 a.m. I appreciate the show. I'm like, thanks for being here and helping me get through a very boring morning. You guys keep me from just staring at a computer screen and not having anything to say or do besides like writing the next video. This is a nice break. Claustoric, best movie comeback. Have you ever used one? Ooh, I like that. Okay, I know this isn't a movie comeback. I'm going to give you a proper one in a minute when I think of one, but okay, here's a couple of them. When Luke Skywalker says to Han Solo about, Han Solo goes like, "How are things? Same as always. That bad, huh?" I use "that bad, huh," meaning is a Return of the Jedi reference all the fucking time. That bad, huh, is as much of a Jeff line as it is Return of the Jedi. Seriously, I use it all the time, if that's a comeback. I also use the "you're going to die here, convenient" line quite a bit, if that's a comeback or not. But the one I wanted to bring up a moment ago, Claustoric, is have you ever seen Zach and Miri make a porno? When Brandon St. Randy says about the porno films he had been in, and one of them is "you better shut your mouth before I fuck it." When people talk shit or annoy me, I usually say, "You better shut your mouth before I fuck it." And they just look at me like, what? I know it's not really a comeback, but that's something from a movie that I constantly use in basic conversations. Even with people that I don't really know, I will say, "You better shut your mouth before I fuck it." And they either laugh or they're just like, and walk away. So, but I think that bad huh comeback is the number one that I use. Logan Michael, thank you for a super chat. NECA teased a Part 5 Roy Friday the 13th figure. Ew, Roy, the fake Jason, faking. I would never buy anything from Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 5, unless it was Chip Travolta, the kid who was eating the chocolate bar that got killed in the beginning of the movie. Castle of Cagliostro is overrated. Yeah, it's Miyazaki, but still, I don't think it's the best Lupin the Third. So I guess I can agree with you about it's overrated. I own it on Blu-ray because it was a gift from Dan. But if I'm going to watch a Lupin the Third movie, I'd rather watch some of the later stuff. Like Secret of Mamo is pretty crappy, actually. It's good on a technical level, but the story's fucking stupid. Boring Conversation is a good one. Good morning, Jeff. What I missed? Well, American Trent 421. Good morning. You missed a lot of the show. Basically, we just talked about the Obi-Wan news, how this Belfast Gazette is saying that it starts filming in April of 2019. Today's also Harrison Ford's birthday. He's 76, so he's one day closer to death. And it's also Friday the 13th, where we're talking about horror stuff. People were asking me about my favorite horror movies and stuff. So, Trent, if you have anything to chime in on those topics, please do. Do I like war movies as well? Depends on the movie. I can like stuff from all genres. It just depends on the film. I'll just say I'm okay with war movies as of now. I can't think of ones off the top. I mean, yeah, Platoon's great, and Apocalypse Now. Full Metal Jacket, I only remember the first half, like most people. What was that one? Heartbreak Ridge, the Clint Eastwood one from the 80s? That was pretty decent. War movies and prison movies are very similar to me, meaning like I'll watch them and enjoy them, but the entire time, when the movies are over, I'm so thankful I'm not either in prison or in the military. Those are just two things in life that I don't want to be. I mean, I'm too old, and I guess I'm out of shape for the military, and I just don't want to go to jail for any reason. So, EVS's way of getting rid of KK and RJ involves using a trebuchet. What would I use to get rid of them? Fax to get them banished. And see, EVS's was a lot funnier. They'll just be launched somewhere. Mine would be to have such a strong argument against the damage that they've done that they get moved out of their positions in Hollywood, and then no one hires them again. I think that's more harmful. Like, no physical harm will come to them, but they'll be shamed and banished and all that other shit. So I think that's important. Now I have to actually pay attention to these because now they're all the questions. My favorite mindfuck movie. I don't know if I have. I mean, I guess Donnie Darko. Is that a mindfuck movie? Because I do like Donnie Darko quite a bit. If that is a mindfuck movie, I'm gonna go with Donnie Darko. Military is not that bad. You know what? It isn't that bad for some people. It just wasn't for me. But the older I get, the more respect I have for people that are in it. I know I couldn't have done it. So, hey, more power to you guys. I just wasn't my calling. Now, if I could have been in like the Air Force or something cool, yeah, that would have been me. But I'm not, I'm not even like opposed to taking orders per se. I don't know. Military wasn't for me. What do I think of The Princess Bride? I like it. I own it on Blu-ray. I really like that movie. Now, that was a movie that would come on TV as a kid, and I'd watch the shit out of that. And I'd always be kind of pissed when it was over because it's so good. And then something else follows, and it sucks. Have I seen Risky Business? Yes, I've seen Risky Business a couple times. It's got Serge, a.k.a. Balky Bartakamus, as well as a naked Rebecca De Mornay and Tom Cruise before he went crazy. Yeah, I would play the Angry Birds KK game. Am I a Doctor Who fan? David Tennant, Doctor, of course. Matt Smith, less. Eccleston, a little more than Smith. Capaldi on, I haven't seen. And I am not going to watch The Lady, not because of a sexist reason. I just don't watch Doctor Who anymore. So they've kind of burned me on Doctor Who. Now, if they released more David Tennant action figures, I can see myself. I own one. That's the only Doctor Who merchandise I own is a David Tennant 10th Doctor action figure in a pinstripe suit. So pretty much anything with him gets me interested. If he were to come back, I would watch the show in a heartbeat. But I'm not going to unless he's back. Dark City. I saw that movie a long time ago, like close to when it came out on DVD. That was one of those earlier DVDs. I think it's New Line. I don't remember it too much. So that's the best answer I can give you. I've seen it, but I don't remember it. My favorite ice cream is cookie dough, just for the cookie dough itself. I used to love ice cream. Ever since I've taken better care of myself, I've kind of had to tell myself, no ice cream, just don't. So I don't think about ice cream as much, but now I am. Damn it. I'm glad Midnight Cherry TV, the show's made your morning fly by. I've never been in contact with somebody that comes from Scientology, but I did back in the day. Remember when it was cool to call the church and ask them about Battletoads or whatever, or something like that? We did that in college, and they called me right back, and I hung up. Any top Australian flicks? Rubber? No, not the Killer Tire movie. I mean, you got to say the Mad Max movies, at least the first two. They're awesome. Not so much Thunderdome, Beyond Thunderdome or whatever. So I'll give you those answers. I don't really... The Australian films that I've seen have been pretty decent to great in terms of like the Mad Max ones. There was one I saw, like the Snowtown Murders or something like that. That was kind of weird. I think I caught that on Netflix a couple years back. Worst driving experience. I don't know. I had to drive a whole bunch of people to a party. Well, not even a party. We were all going from Michigan State to my then girlfriend's house out in the country, and everyone was having a good time in the car, and I had to drive, and it sucked. So that's off the top of my head. And then not too long ago, my car spun out on the highway because it had rained, and you know how the oil comes up from the ground. So I was making a turn. I wasn't even going super fast. I was getting on an entry ramp, and my car just fucking spun out. Scared the shit out of my mom and grandma. They were in the car with me. If we ever do a Flash Gordon review for Dion's on, because I don't like that movie. He loves it. Logan Michael, how the hell did you score an 18-inch neck of Michael Myers for $65? Next time you find somebody that's selling one online, you gotta contact me. I want to buy an 18-inch neck of Michael Myers for $65. I want to get a damn neck of Beetlejuice. The cheapest one I've ever seen is $120 out of the box, so I'm not dropping that kind of money. Favorite line of The Last Jedi? Walt Disney production, because that means it's the end of the movie. What are my thoughts on the Council of Geeks? I've never seen anything, Colleen, so I apologize. Cookie dough ice cream is awesome, James Russo. By the way, James Russo, I believe, is the same as the name of the actor who plays Michael Tandino in Beverly Hills Cop. So now you're on my radar. I have seen Blowout. That is a great movie. Travolta, had his run in the 70s, and I think Blowout's kind of when he slowed down in the 80s. He did some stuff throughout the 80s, and he came back big with Pulp Fiction. And then the 90s, John Travolta kind of was a big dominating force. But I've definitely seen Blowout, and I like that movie quite a bit. I've never seen Chopper. Speaking movies to you is like flirting. Oh. Why does everyone hate Thunderdome? I just think it's stupid. Worst stream I've ever had. Ooh. None of the Good Morning Pop cultures have been bad. The one for the Back to the Future anniversary was really slow. Like today's was slow in terms, like it had a lower view count, but the chat's been just lighting it up like crazy. I think the worst stream we ever did, I don't want to say the Patreon one, because the Patreon one last time got really political. And it's not that I'm afraid about like YouTube taking action. We're an entertainment channel. We aim to entertain. I don't know if that actually entertained anybody. So that turned out iffy. But I don't know. I've never been on like a garbage stream. I've been pretty fortunate. Like yesterday, somebody said about, the chat and the content or the comments here on the channel are pretty good. But we have a really good audience of people. I'm not just saying that to kiss your guy's ass or make you feel good and safe on a Friday. It's legitimately like you guys are all cool people that I would definitely have a beer or coffee or whatever with, whatever your drink is. Because I know you're not a bunch of weirdos. I think we've been pretty lucky to have a good way to sift out any crazies, especially on the ones that come back for the morning show every day. You guys are the hardcore fans of the channel, and you're all normal, well-adjusted people. So a terrible stream hasn't really happened. Now, when I open up, if I have some, like if I had Cecil on, that could turn into a dumpster fire. But it's Cecil. Which Voltron do I like more? I'm too young for Voltron. Voltron was before my time. If I do a giant robot, it's the Megazord from Power Rangers. Abomino, great question. How do I think John Williams' music is going to affect the last Star Wars movie? Do you think he even cares anymore? I don't think he cares anymore. The first thing, and thank God Michael from Retro Blasting noticed this too, that I thought when I watched The Force Awakens is this music just feels different. It sounds hollow. It feels like there's no emotion behind it. The fanfare of Star Wars is lame. I don't think John Williams gives a shit anymore. He just I can't. Here's the thing about these new Star Wars movies. Even if John Williams isn't involved, they just recycle the old shit. And when John Williams is involved, it's not memorable. Like a lot of this stuff, it's just Star Wars fanfare. Like it's very scientifically produced in terms of the new Star Wars stuff. It's like high action, iconic ship, music that everyone knows. It gets the heart rate. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't test this with heart monitors and shit in those like weird cameras that saw your body heat and stuff raise to where they got those feelings and emotions out of you. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was how they tested these movies. So then in the following films, they put more and more of that in there to hit you on a level to where you enjoy it and you don't know how you're enjoying it. And the John Williams music, they just recycle the parts that people love, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da constantly to get you like, oh my God, this is just like Star Wars. I mean, cool. They got the science of this shit down. It's like those trailers, how they scientifically use certain responses and things to, what's the word I'm looking for? They use like triggers. They get certain emotions out of you in trailers by hitting you in certain levels. So I don't think John Williams gives a shit. We are the weirdos, but the good kind of weirdos. Hell yeah. What do I think of Fury Road? It was fine, but not a masterpiece. I loved it when I saw it in theaters the first time. I was blown away. But I also bought it on Blu-ray, and I haven't watched it since. So that goes to show you, for as much as I like a movie, and if I buy it, but I never watch it, do I truly love it, or was I still living in the hype of the previous viewing? What debates did I have in college? Like real debates? I took an arguments and debate course. I really don't remember. I remember I gave some public speeches on like how to draw Batman. That was my favorite speech ever because you had to. It was a how-to speech, and I thought, what am I good at? Well, I'll teach people how to draw Batman. So I broke it down in like, I think it was 12 steps or something, or maybe that was the number, 12 or 10 steps you had to break it down into. And I remember doing that. But I did well in that class as well as argument and debate. I don't remember like formal debates. I may have not done anything like that in high school for sure. And I had debates with Dion and Dustin in college, like, informal debating. That was a lot of fun, but I can't remember anything like that. How would I rank the John Williams scores? Original Star Wars. That one just works on every level. Oh, the Indiana Jones ones are all great. They're hard to distinguish which is which. I mean, I can hear in my mind different cues to let you know like which indie film you're watching. I'll go with Temple of Doom. I really like the short round fanfare, like dun 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 dun. I like that music a lot. Oh no, wait, sorry. It goes Star Wars, Superman, then Indiana Jones and the Temple. How did I forget Superman? Like, I can't tell you how, even I wasn't even alive for a decade. But man, when I hear that Superman theme, like the dun 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 dun, that works. And that's why they bring that shit back. That with Danny Elfman's Batman theme are really powerful. And you know what? Say what you will about Justice League. That was an awesome moment when I got to hear the old Danny Elfman score come back. Same with Superman. I'm not saying that made the movies great, but those musical elements were awesome and fun, and I really, really love hearing that. But yeah, I'll go with Star Wars, Superman, and then some Indiana Jones ones, then the rest of the Star Wars saga. Originals, then Episode 1, then 3, then 2, then 7 and 8. I don't even know. The Jurassic Park score is fine. I don't know every John Williams score off the top of my head. Same thing with Harold Faltermeyer. For as much as I love Beverly Hills Cop, I don't know every Harold Faltermeyer score. Do I know any feminists, extremists, or SJWs in person? I do not. I met this girl on Saturday at the party, and she was talking about being a feminist and how everyone at the table was like, and we talked to her, and then we ended up having a really good conversation about stuff, and it didn't get dirty or dark or anything. She was cool, and I told her my stance on how we are on the channel and stuff like that, and she kind of came around and was like, I guess you guys are right about these things. So I don't know. Most people don't really come at me violently or angry. I had a teacher like that in college. Fuck her. She was the worst teacher I've ever had. There you go. That's what you wanted to hear, right? That's the only SJW I met. Damn teacher in college. She was the fucking worst. What'll be sadder, the passing of John Williams or George Lucas when it happens? They'll both be equally sad. I think more people will be upset over George Lucas. If somebody has a long, good life, I'm not as upset. I think it's shittier, like, when somebody's either murdered or something terrible happens to somebody. That kind of hits you harder. Like, John Williams passes away at 95 years old in his home. Oh, okay. Well, at least he lived a good life, and you remember his legacy in a positive way. But I'll go with George Lucas to answer your question. Do I like Kurosawa films? I've never seen one. Sorry, I know I'm a bad film enthusiast. I apologize in advance. What would happen if Darth Vader showed up at my place? Does he want to hang out, or does he want to kill me? Because I don't have a lightsaber to do that. So I'm not going to fight or win. I converted her. You could say that. Could say that. I don't want the new Star Wars shows / movies being made until the change of management. I don't trust them. Yeah, I don't trust them either. And it's not like the Lando's my friend, but I don't trust him type of thing. It's like Kathleen Kennedy is no one's friend. If she was an ice cream flavor, well, you can finish the line yourself. But I don't. Here's the thing. From a fan standpoint, not from a world-class bullshitter standpoint, I don't trust anything they're going to do, nor do I want to see it until they're all gone. And then I want proof that they've gone back and fixed their shit. I don't want garbage political rhetoric in Star Wars anymore. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that nice compliment. What would my first response be to someone saying you're not liking The Force Awakens just because it wasn't what you wanted? Well, you guys have heard me say this on multiple occasions. Here's one thing that I think you like about this channel is I'm the same in person as I am on the channel. I don't really lie about anything. I don't lie about anything to you guys. I tell you straight up whenever you ask me stuff, I'm very honest. I would just explain to them why their statement about me is completely wrong, and I'd go into great details about like why you're fucking wrong. And maybe my body language would make me seem angry, but I would stay calm and tell them why. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get into a physical fight over a fucking movie, but at the same time, don't let someone say you're something that you're not. Just tell them how it is. Beat them with facts, not your fists. Beat them with fucking facts. They can't win ever. You can't go to jail for beating someone into submission verbally with facts. They just feel stupid and they walk away, and you win, and you're safe. Never get into a violent fight over a movie. Just beat them with facts. Rhino 4563, thank you very much. Your thoughts on how Scarlett Johansson is getting slammed? Sorry, when I saw getting slammed, my mind went elsewhere. Your thoughts on how Scarlett Johansson is getting slammed by SJWs for playing transgender in a movie, and now they're attacking a Black Widow movie. It goes to show you that these SJW people are legitimately insane, and that you never listen to them or their ideas. When they go with this crazy, weird ideology in movies, you just say no, thank you, or you just don't pay attention to them. If they just keep screaming and screaming and screaming, they'll eventually tire out. Black Widow, the movie, is not going to suffer because of an SJW backlash. First off, Scarlett Johansson's an actress. Why couldn't she play things that she's not? Yeah, it may have been culturally insensitive. You know what? Blackface now is bad taste. Like when you watched it back in the 30s and 40s, it was an art form. It was stupid, but you look back at it, it was a thing. I'm not advocating it or justifying it at all. Trust me. My point is, it was a thing. They were acting. It was bad. It was in bad taste, but they were acting. With Scarlett Johansson playing a transgender person, it's acting. You're supposed to believe it's something they're not. And if anything, these people should be happy because someone like Scarlett Johansson has star power, and you could get their that point of view across to more people. So these SJW people are just basically cannibalizing their points and ruining it. They're ruining it for everybody. They're ruining it for themselves. First off, they're the fun police. They're like the right to censor. If you're a wrestling fan, you get that reference. They come in, their music plays, they're annoying as shit, and they take away all the fun. Oh my God, there's boobs in this movie. It's so terrible and offensive. I like boobs. I like movies. Put them together. It's a good time for everyone. But no, these SJW people come in and ruin the fun. So if they attack Black Widow, that's not going to hurt the movie in terms of its success. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is kind of a flop. So I think our Marvel, not fatigue, but that Marvel hype train has slowed down a bit. And when we get to Black Widow, you're not going to be able to sell it as the first Marvel female superhero flick. You're not going to be able to sell it as anything because Captain Marvel beat it. Wonder Woman is not the first female action film or first female superhero film. You got Supergirl from '84 that people forget for good reasons. So I think that Black Widow isn't going to be the huge hit that people want because it's not a first and all the novelty's worn off. So these SJW people can attack all day long. They're just hurting their points and they're hurting themselves in the long run. But just ignore them and they'll shut the fuck up. Dio Brando, thank you for a super chat. What would you do if you could go back in time? No preventing the Last Jedi What would you do if you could go back in time? No preventing the Last Jedi from being made, no killing Hitler. Well, my plans for time travel are very simple. I know this sounds harsh. I wouldn't even go back to save my dead family members because I mean this in the most sincere way. I'm very happy where I am right now. Be it this show, where I am personally in my life, everything's really good. I don't want to alter any of that. The only thing I would do if I could go back in time would be to invest money. Basically, I would take money and invest in stocks and have a huge, I'd put $10,000 into Google and then come back to the future. Think how much that stock would be worth now. I'd be a billionaire. Cool. I'd still be the same adjusted person and I would cash it out in the future type of thing. That's really what I'd do. I would just go back in time. Or if I could time travel multiple times, I would go back and watch movies with people when they're new to see the audience excitement. Oh man, I would go back and see Back to the Future on opening night and fuck with people and quote every line of the movie. They'd be like, how have you seen this? It's a rerun. What's a rerun? Just shit like that. I'd love to go back. Now, here's a more sinister thing I'd like to do if I could go back in time. And this is really fucked up. And I thought of this. It'd be funny. Go back to the early days of the American, when people are coming over from Europe, like the Pilgrims. And they would sit around a campfire and talk and stuff. Go back in really elaborate makeup and act like a demon or something and scare the shit out of these people. yeah, I'd have a bulletproof vest on or something so I wouldn't get shot. But like, just go back with a group of guys and fuck with settlers and stuff like that. That would be funny to me. I know that's a terrible, terrible thing to do, but you could just, call from the woods over like a PA system or something, or a megaphone, and just scare the shit out of these people. There's a simpler time. You could have so many laughs at their expense. So that's what I do. I wouldn't go back to kill her or anything crazy like that because I'd like to exist. I don't want to change my existing as a possibility, but just small shit like that would be fun. Christopher Burkle, thank you very much for a super chat. I saw New Hope with a live orchestra last weekend. Amazing experience. I'm a little jealous. I love those orchestra things that come to Cincinnati. They had a Zelda one that I missed out on. I was out of town. But man, that had to be fucking crazy because for me, it would work out great because I know all the lines of dialogue from the movie. So even if you couldn't hear it, that music just works on so many levels. That truly is the greatest film score of all time. I will have a debate with anyone over any other movie, and I'll still stick with Star Wars because the beauty of A New Hope is you can argue the Star Wars theme is part of that score. You can argue all these firsts for that movie score, and that's why it works. And it's so awesome. And if you listen to just a 30-second snippet, you know what part of the movie it's from, and you know what it's trying to portray. John Williams is the master of film score, and that is his masterpiece. Rhino4563. Oh yeah, can't wait for council. Hashtag doo-doo butter. Last night's podcast was one of the all-time greats. I know a lot of people gave us shit for the one when I was drinking Crown Royal, but I had the most fun on that one. But last night's show was a really strong showing, and so many people showed up for that one, and I really liked it. I really like when we can always have a constant thing to talk about, not me going, let's go to the next topic. So, yeah, hashtag doo-doo butter was very organic. Doo-doo butter's organic. That was so much fun, though. Let's see, where did that last one pop out? Thank you very much, though, Rhino. Logan Michael 69. Tom Holland fans are weird. I've never met a Tom Holland fan. Most of the people that I've met that liked Spider-Man Homecoming liked it, and that was it. I don't really know any Tom Holland fans. I don't interact with a lot of fandoms on the internet. Like on Instagram, if I post a picture of Spider-Man that I've drawn, I don't tag Tom Holland stuff and then listen to people talk about him. I just let them do their own thing. And yes, I'm very excited for Mission Impossible Fallout. That's the next movie I'm just dying to see. Yeah, RDJ in blackface and Tropic Thunder was hilarious. I think he had back in the day it was a little different. I was talking like I saw this movie, I think it was called like Holiday Inn with fucking Bing Crosby. And he goes like, let's do a blackface routine. And then they did this thing called Abraham. They were talking about Abraham Lincoln, how great it was that he saved the slaves or freed the slaves. I was like, what am I watching? It was so cringe. My mom watched it with me and she goes, what is this? And I said, Mom, you picked this movie. And she thought it was a movie with Rosemary Clooney, White Christmas or something like that. It wasn't. It was one of the worst, most cringy things I've ever seen. But the Tropic Thunder stuff's hilarious. I think it's a commentary on stuff. Ben Stiller gets it. Benevolent veteran. I like boobies. Jeff 2018. You could take that date back to like 90. Jeff's still going to always be saying that stuff. Remember to buy a dustbuster when I'm back in the 80s because they haven't invented dust-proof paper yet. Ghosty Ghost. Hey, Jeff, have you seen Jeremy John's video about the First Order? Well, Ghosty Ghost, thank you for your super chat. I have not. My anger towards Jeremy Johns has kind of subsided, but at the same time, when he puts out videos like that, I think he's doing it just to stay relevant during this era. His movie reviews are fine, but I don't want to call him a fake fan, but when I see him talk about stuff like that, it's like you talk about stuff in the most basic, is cursory the right word I want to use, way of things without showing any expertise. So when you go into this stuff, how much of it is your passion and your true knowledge, or how much of it is just researched for the video before on Wikipedia? That's why I don't really watch his videos like that per se. I don't want to brush past your question, but I haven't watched it yet. If you guys really, really want me to watch it, I'll check it out. That's the best I can offer you guys. If I haven't seen something enough, like press F if you want me to watch it. I hate to keep using that, but that's an indicator because I will. I have a little bit of free time before tonight's live stream, so I could watch that and then I could, discuss it for the Last Jedi stream tonight. So I will if you guys want me to. But Ghosty Ghost, thank you. I feel bad when you guys ask a question that's a simple yes or no. I want to go into more detail. But that's all I can say. I haven't seen it yet. We had, let's see, a lot of Fs. Okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it before tonight's stream. And you guys can tweet me to remind me too. And that's how Jeff started the Bigfoot myth. Oh, man. Good, the Bad, the Ugly, another great film score. Yeah, especially the Ecstasy of Gold. That's incredible. My favorite film score would be Basil Polidorius' Conan the Barbarian. I need to check that out. I've seen Conan the Barbarian, but I don't know the score off the top of my head. Why not invest in Bitcoin? I think I actually had an opportunity to do something with Bitcoin in college. I just don't know. I still don't know what it is. I don't know what Bitcoin is. So maybe I should have, but I feel like if I would have invested in Google early, like 10 grand, and then jumped back, at least I see the thing is I understand how that works. Fine. If I can jump through time multiple times, I'll go back and I'll put 10,000 in Apple, 10,000 in Microsoft, 10,000 in Yahoo before it crashed, 10,000 in Google, and 10,000 in Bitcoin. And then I go back in the days where I find out they're at their peak value and I cash in. So when was Yahoo at its peak value? Like 2000 or something? Boom, there's my money. I'd have kept Google still in. Same with Microsoft and Apple. Well, I'd just find out what their peak was and I'd come back and do that. And I would just want to make a whole bunch of money because I don't want to go back in time or kill anybody. But if I had a whole shitload of money, I'd basically buy a giant compound, with the coolest house ever. And I would just drive around in cars and do cool shit. I basically live a James Bond minus the murdering lifestyle. Oh, that last sip of coffee was harsh. An Aussie comedy to check out is called Hercules Returns from 1989. Okay, let me write that down. All right. I will check that out. Let's see. Tons of Fs, tons of F. How many hours from now is The Last Jedi thing? Okay, so let's it would be roughly 11 hours from now. So in 9 minutes, it'll be 11 hours from now. As I think you're in Australia, so I don't want to throw you off by saying 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just essentially 11 hours from now. Be ready. So if you have to go to bed soon or whatever, go to bed, get your good night's rest, and get up and watch it with us. Basil did a concert of the score in Spain a few months before cancer took him. You can find it on YouTube. I'll check it out. Mondi, how do you like your coffee, Jeff? Very black. Pam Grier coffee, if you will. Lots of people tell me to check out stuff. John Williams is heavily influenced by Stravinsky. Igor Stravinsky. That's a movie reference you guys don't even get. Cesare, Japan. So act out one of the plots to time cop for stocks. Essentially, yeah. That's all I'd do. Because who's it going to hurt? Nobody. That's all I would do. That's my time travel. It's very lame, very boring. Maybe see world events happen. Or if I'm feeling like kind of bored, like after I've made all the money and shit, maybe I'd go back and like be in really famous pictures. You know how the people are like, oh, there's that time traveler in this photo and that photo. I'd go wear like really obvious shirts, like world-class bullshitters in the Grand Theft Auto font, and be in like 1920 Chicago or something, or like those Great Depression line photos. There I am in like world-class bullshitters, t-shirts, and like sunglasses, like Ray-Bans or something, like waiting in line for food or some shit like that, and just like troll history. Like, who is this fucking guy? And they're like, these are real photos, we can verify it, here's the negative. And then throughout time they're like, ooh, who's this mysterious time traveler? Then I think I'd fuck it up. Mackinac Island fudge coffee, best coffee in the world. That's what I'm drinking. I like that. You'd be on YouTube conspiracy videos, Jeff. I like that. I love those YouTube conspiracy videos. Are fun for like a stormy Friday when I don't have work to do. You just want to kick back and watch something to keep you interested. I like those are fun to me. The Last Jedi requires a lot of alcohol. Yeah, folks, it does. I'm going to start drinking maybe a half an hour beforehand, get a nice buzz going to get myself, ready. Kind of like in National Lampoon's Vacation when Clark has that beer and then he's like, this is crazy, and he jumps in the pool. I'm at that jump into the pool, this is crazy moment. So yeah, The Last Jedi is 11 hours from now. Last question, Jeff. Do you think Ant-Man and the Wasp will outgross or make as much money as the first one? Probably not. Well, what comes out soon? Let me look at film releases, because that's going to be the answer. Okay, so what comes out? A movie. I pipe a film. Okay, July movies. We'll go with Movie Web. That seems like a basic. So we got Mission Impossible on the 27th. Ant-Man's out. Oh, no. Hotel Transylvania comes out in 3 days. That's going to put a stop on that. Alita Battle Angel. Fuck that movie. That looks stupid. Unfriended Dark Web. I would actually see that movie. I think Ant-Man will be number one again next. Ant-Man will do. Oh, The Rock comes out today with his movie Skyscraper. Okay, Skyscraper is going to stop Ant-Man in its tracks, and then you're going to have Mamma Mia come in and beat that, and then Mission Impossible. So Ant-Man's pretty much done. One thing I always say about movies like Mamma Mia and stuff like that, like a movie like that will get a group of women to come out to see movies, and then sometimes they bring their husbands and stuff like that. So movies like that are a good bet. They're almost as good as when you have a family film that like 10 people have to go see, because like you have 4 kids that want to go and you bring a friend and all that shit too. So the Mamma Mia is going to clean up. I don't ever want to see it, but I think Wicked's going to smoke Star Wars, or at least hurt Star Wars box office more than they realize. Do I think episode 9 would be better if it was split into 2 parts, as Jeremy suggested? That'd be kind of cool. I could get behind that. Come on, Keurig, I want my coffee. There we go. Ready. Yeah, I guess I got an addiction. No, if you split it into 2 parts, I guess that would be kind of cool. But I expect something like that to happen. I either expect them to push the movie release date back, or it gets made into 2 parts. Like, they got to have an announcement that's going to really pique people's interests. Basically, anything that happens now during Star Wars, or for Star Wars, isn't going to be like, yay, we're all excited. Because, look it, guys, when somebody like Jeremy Johns is talking about this kind of stuff, the shill media, and I'm not calling him a shill, but the shill media knows the jig is up, and they can't keep pulling this shit forever. So split it into 2 parts, it'd be something interesting and new, but at the same time, that means just more fucking Star Wars movies from Disney. Like, just let it go. Let's see. Midnight Cherry TV, Mackinac Island, Childhood Vacation twice in the 80s. Never been. I mean, people talk about it. My grandma's been. She had the damn sweatshirt she used to wear all the time. She's pretty fun. Does being a bad movie or just tired affect your review on a good movie? Did you mean to say, does being in a bad mood or being tired affect my review of a movie? No, I don't think being in a shitty mood affects that. I've been angry to go to see a movie and I come out of the movie very happy. For me, a bad movie, like, honestly, when I go to see a movie, kind of the rest of the world just ceases to matter at that point. Like, I really love movies, so I'm able to separate myself in that regard. Being tired, like, I fell asleep in The Incredible Hulk the first time I saw it, so I went back to see it like 2 days later because I liked what I saw and I wanted to see the whole movie. So I'll go with no on that one, Abomino. I'll go with no. Ever watched VHS Centurion Rex? Not only have I watched it, we put out a commentary for number 2 during Schlocktoberfest. That was a lot of fun. I thought VHS 2 was awesome. My grandmother is not fun. She considers everything a sin. Well, Super Smash Brothers candidate. My grandma's really religious, but she's pretty cool. I'll tell you a cool grandma story. She left church early to go get me a GameCube. The only time my grandma has ever left church early in her life that wasn't an emergency was to take me, her favorite grandson, and yeah, I'll say that on air because I am, to go see or to go buy a GameCube. And because we left early, I got the third to last GameCube at Toys R Us. So thank you, Grandma. You're still alive and kicking. And don't think I forgot about my GameCube. I wanted to see Hope Pym get beaten to a bloody pulp. No, here's the thing I said on last night's show. The fact that she said to Scott, you should have, why didn't you take me to Germany and all that shit, made me like the character a lot more. Instead of angry male-female tension, they wrote it out as like characters that cared about each other, and she was kind of scorned. I liked that. She was fine. To me, there wasn't really a SJW shit in this Marvel movie. Captain Marvel is going to be the one we get that. I just thought Paul Rudd's Scott Lang was a little weak, and the movie, all the shit that happened in the movie was too drawn out. It could have happened in the first half, and then we could have got a much more interesting film in the second. Walton Gogin's bad guy was stupid. You should find a way to... It should have been Justin Hammer, and it should have been Justin Hammer getting out of jail and trying to reclaim his shit and having an informant in the FBI, and, like, that kind of stuff would have been cool to tie it back. Even if you don't like Iron Man 2, another kind of arms dealer guy just doesn't work. I do not have the specialized editions of Star Wars. I don't know how to acquire them, but I would watch those. Yeah, my grandma is cool. Both VHSs, hell yeah. Have I watched How the Last Jedi Should Have Been? No, but I'm going to watch that today in preparation for tonight's thing. Also, she was a forced love interest. Oh, and as a true Mexican national, I dislike Luis. I liked Michael Pena so much in the first one, and this one he was just okay. I don't know if I think she was a forced love interest. It felt kind of natural at the end of the first one, but I just don't like her over. I mean, she's fine, but Paul Rudd's character, Scott, is the one I really like. Everyone else, I don't know. I really like Paul Rudd with the other Avengers. That's what I'm looking forward to in part 4, the whole time travel thing. Van Halen or AC/DC? Van Halen. I don't really like AC/DC too much. I don't hate them, but I'm Van Halen more so. I have a question, guys. So it's 10:01. It's Friday. I got a pretty light schedule. Do you guys want me to go a little longer, or do you want me to close the stream out? Press F if you want some more Good Morning Pop Culture. I think I'll watch Paint Dry over The Last Jedi, but I do like music, so there we go. Dio Brando says, which Halloween is Paul Rudd in? Is it 5? No, it's 6. Paul Rudd is in The Curse of Michael Myers. No, wait, is that 6? It's number 6. I don't know if that's the curse. There's the return, the revenge, then the curse. Okay, a lot of F's rolling in. So I'll keep the show rolling for a little bit, guys. I like the impromptu nature of Good Morning Pop Culture. So keep your questions coming in. Let's make this interesting and fun. Ask me anything you want. Have I seen the documentary about the people that put together HD version of the original Star Wars? I think it's called the Specialized version. I haven't seen the documentary, but I'm well aware of the Specialized edition. That's Harmy. That makes it. I don't have a membership at the original trilogy forum, but I've been there so many times. It's cool if you guys want the Specialized version of Star Wars. I think they should take the Blade Runner approach and give you 5 cuts of Star Wars on Blu-ray in equal quality picture and color timing. So if you want to cut your own version, you can just get these digital copies and cut your own version without any discrepancy in audio or visuals and nothing like that. After the wall of Fs, there we go. You want to see me get drunk so I pass out? Well, I won't be on camera, but you can just hear a loud thud and then a or my camera or my microphone picks up my air conditioner. Yes, Ant-Man himself, Paul Rudd, was in Halloween. He plays Tommy Doyle. No, yeah. Tommy Jarvis is Friday the 13th. Tommy Doyle is Halloween. Yeah, he plays the grown-up version of the kid from the first Halloween movie. McKinney90, welcome back and thank you. Morning, Jeff. What would be the first thing you would say to Rian Johnson if you met him face to face? Would you keep your cool or let Dion unleash on him? Well, I would play it cool in the beginning, and I'd see how I'd let him dictate the tone, because I can go from 1 is calm or 11 to fuck you up verbally. Like, I can go either way. I would want to here's the thing about Rian Johnson or anybody, you want to have the conversation go longer. So you're either wearing them down or their defenses come down a little bit. and you're not getting the same PR spin. Like, you want the truth to come out from Rian Johnson. So I think you have to start small and build your way up. You don't, with anything out of life, this is my piece of life advice for you guys. If you ever want to get anything, don't come out swinging at people and turn them off, especially a guy of my size. I don't want to just, start, at 11 and scare people off. There's a misconception about me at the gym. I'm this big, scary dude that doesn't speak, but then when people talk to me, they get to know me type of thing. So with a Rian Johnson being a weak, coward little male that he is, I would start calmly and build up if it got heated. If he played his cool, and even if he said shit I didn't like, I would always have a comeback or the next question type of thing. But I will let him dictate the tone of me for the prolonged conversation to get to the bottom of it. So I know that's an odd way to answer your question, McKinney90, but that's what I do. Now, if it was Zack Snyder, I would just say, hey, Zack Snyder, I liked your Dawn of the Dead remake. Hey, thanks, man. Watchmen, And now this guy has a problem with you. And then Dion would just go, white meat, dude. White meat all day, every day. But thank you, McKinney90. Let's see. Thanks for the show this week. Favorite team on GameCube? Mario Kart, Yoshi for me. I didn't really do Mario Kart Double Dash. I always play as like Mario or Yoshi, because I actually always play as Yoshi because of the balance and the speed. I like faster cars. I'm pretty good at the drifting in those games, so I don't like the heavier plotting characters. I like speed and agility type of thing. My air conditioner on the floor? No, but this microphone, if I don't talk for a while, the microphone will adapt and pick up the air conditioner in the background. Don't worry about that, Super Smash Bros. Candidates. Just keep listening, my friend. John Huey, PMU for Harmies. Like here on YouTube? Because if that's the case, sure, man. I appreciate it. Cesaro Japan, favorite porn star. Oh, let's see. I'll give you an old one and a new one. New, Danny Daniels. Old, and I don't mean like as an old lady, just of yesteryear. Oh, that's kind of tough. I don't know. There are types of women I like. I don't know if I have names for all of them, but I'll give you Danny Daniels as a modern one who still works. And she was fun to follow on Vine when that was still a thing. Thank you, Mutali. Yeah, my mom is pretty proud. I know, what's funny is when people say stuff and people get embarrassed, like, oh, your mom's proud of you. Yeah, my mom is proud of me. I'm proud of her too. So, and we got a good thing rolling. She's going to be off a couple days next week. I might have her say hi to all you people. You can ask my mom some questions. Cassidy Banks, never heard of her. I see a lot of people throwing out their favorites. See ya, Bomino. I can't wait to have you on tonight to send me in questions to help me emotionally get through The Last Jedi tonight. It's going to be an adventure. John Sapolo will hit the like button for her. Thank you. I appreciate everyone hitting the like button. I think the like button helps YouTube know that people like this video and you can search it better. Yeah, Rhino. Yeah, she does. I didn't know Stormy Daniels hates Rian Johnson. What do you mean, you people? Round head, square thinking. Boom, blasted Heath. That's a great comment. Well, thank you, Mutale. I think I'm pretty fun to hang out with. I think you said you were in South Africa? Is that where you said you are? If you ever make it stateside and you're in the general vicinity, come hang out with us. Jared Cathcart, we're going extra overtime on World Class Bullshitters Good Morning Pop Culture. So we're doing anything. Caps Lock 3, thank you for Super Chat. Red Eyes says hi from Nuka World. Nuka World. Is that Fallout? No, that's Nuke Cola. Sorry. Sometimes when you think about pop culture shit all the time, if something sounds slightly familiar, um, it all kind of just Nuka World. What is Nuka World from? I'm googling it right now. Man, a lot of. Oh, it is from Fallout. Okay, cool. Then I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. I might get the new Fallout. Maybe. If you guys want me to get that, press F. See, I do want to get into some streaming because then I can stay up late, play some video games, and technically be working. Worst character that has a movie. The movie has to have come out. Okay, I mean, the worst character in Star Wars is Holdo, but let's think about another. It's Pat. Pat, whatever the character's last name is the worst movie character ever. I hate everything about that movie on every level. It's so dumb. It's so poorly made. Why don't SJWs praise that movie for its progressive androgyny? Is Pat a man? Is Pat a woman? Come on. You'd think they'd want to champion that stuff. Or is it because it's new? Is it a lot like Black Panther where there were black superhero movies and before Wonder Woman there were female superhero movies? But because it's not new and trendy, they don't like it. You know, old movies are great. Some are bad, but there are terrible new movies too. So it goes both ways. You want to play Fallout 76 and kill me? I mean, build civilizations with me? Sure. Maybe we'll find a way to get if it's on Xbox or PlayStation, we'll find out where the most of the listeners play, and we'll take a day's worth of super chats and get that console if I don't already own it, and we'll have an official World Class Bullshitters thing. An official World Class Bullshitters Xbox Live account. That could be fun. What's that? It's Pat. Ugh. Fuck. Julia Sweeney's okay as an actress, but my God, do I hate It's Pat. Yeah, Monty Dean, I would be okay if that's what happens with Ryan Johnson's head in space. Let's see. Fourth thing. Well, Howard the Duck, very bad. Yeah, Howard the Duck is pretty shit. It's funny how on the chat, some people are hearing older stuff and commenting. It makes me laugh. Because I don't do a lot of, I don't watch any streams from anybody, so I don't know what latency and stuff goes on. You regret looking up Danny Daniels. I hope it's for good reasons. Let's see. It's going to be crotch platforming for Fallout 76. Oh, shit. Okay, cool. Best SNL movie and worst SNL movie from Abomino. Best Wayne's World, hands down. Worst, It's Pat. There you go. I hate to be so quick with your question, Abomino, but straight up, Wayne's World is better than the Blues Brothers and anything that came before or after it, and It's Pat is garbage. Superstar is slightly better than It's Pat, and The Ladies' Man is a little better than that. Caplocks 3, Country Roads, Take Me Home. Wasn't that the song that plays in Kingsman 2, A Golden Circle? I really liked that movie. If you guys saw Kingsman 2, tell me what you thought. I don't know if it's better than the first one, but I think both of those are really solid films. And that Elton John part makes me crack up all the time. Michael Hunting, thank you for your super chat. Don't worry, your fans will be with you tonight through The Last Jedi. We will suffer together. I wish everyone felt that way, Michael. People just want to watch me suffer and laugh at my expense. But no, the bigger audience will be nice because when the movie's playing and Rose Tico's whining about some shit, and I just remember Canto Bite is a thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have dinner early tonight so I can load up. I'm gonna load up on carbs. I don't care if my body's gonna hate me. I'm gonna load up on some bread and some potatoes, and then I'm gonna drink until I'm kind of tipsy, and then start this fucking movie. Oh, you think Blues Brothers is better than Wayne's World? I think Blues Brothers is a very good movie, a great movie, if you will. But I don't think it holds up as well. And a lot of the jokes and references are just like, hey, blues singer, this person from a music industry. It's like, if you're into that stuff, and yeah, the the Nazi part's hilarious when he's like, "I've always loved you" and shit. Like, the movie's great. I'm not shitting on the Blues Brothers, but I think Wayne's World is still relevant, even though it came out 25 years ago, and will remain relevant a lot longer than the Blues Brothers. I don't think John Belushi, I think his early death has kind of not harmed the film's legacy, but he's only known by so many people because he died so early on. And yeah, he was great, but he burned out quick. Wayne's World, both Wayne and Garth are still alive. Dana Carvey and Mike Myers are still in the public eye to some degree. It's 90s nostalgia is cool, in quotation marks. And Wayne's World had a better sequel than the Blues Brothers. Caps Lock 3 says, first off, thank you for Super Chat. You will need a Bethesda Net account to play on PC. I'm open to playing on PC, guys, but the entry barrier to PC gaming, right now, I could afford to get a gaming PC, but I wouldn't use it. Like Phil bought a $4,000 or built a $4,000 gaming PC. Okay, I couldn't get a $4,000 one, but my point is, I wouldn't use it enough. What I use, my computer right now is a tool for what I need to do for the channel, and so the computer I have isn't a piece of crap, but I only use it for the channel and video editing and drawing, and I can do what I need to do with what I have. So to invest in a gaming PC sounds fun, but I would need the time to play. And if I was going to get a gaming PC, I'd want to spend the money, I'd want to have it custom built, and I would want, all the Grand Theft Auto 5 mods, all the Grand Theft Auto 4 mods, all that shit. I could spend a calendar year of my life playing modded GTA. It's not even a joke how much I love Grand Theft Auto. Like, seriously, I really fucking love Grand Theft Auto. Speaking of stuff I like, do you like the Final Destination films? Yes. I love the first. Okay, I won't say I love the first one. I strongly like 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 is kind of where I fell off. Is there any more after 4? Maybe there's a 5th one. But I thought 1 was really cool and different. My cousin showed it to me when I was young. It was when it was first out on DVD. So what was that? The year 2000. I remember watching that, and he's 13 years older than me. So he showed me that, and I was like kind of really into it. 2 we saw when that was new on DVD, and I love that highway scene. Every time I see a truck with logs on it, I think of that scene, and I keep my distance. I drive casual, if you will. 3, I have a funny story about. I remember I was just about to graduate from high school, and I rented that from the library, and it was the interactive version where you could pick the deaths and stuff. And I picked the ending where everyone survived, and the movie ended in 3 minutes. So I guess that goes to tell you what kind of person I am in terms of my nature. I saved everybody. Why no love for Coneheads? There's a ton of love for Coneheads, but I just kind of forgot about it. If I'm going to rank it, Wayne's World, Blues Brothers, Coneheads, Wayne's World 2, Night at the Roxbury, Ladies Man, Superstar, It's Pat. If I'm missing an SNL flick, you guys let me know. But those are the best of my memory. That's how I rank those. Coneheads is a movie I really like. We come from France. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber or Dumb and Dumber 2 was a bad comeback. Dumb and Dumber 2, man, fuck that movie. Ooh, Animal House or Revenge of the Nerds? Oh, God. I identify with both, but I'm going to go with... God. That's tough. Oh, fuck. Revenge of the Nerds. Sorry. I love Animal House a lot, though. John Landis is the shit. Grand Inquisitor, thank you for your super chat. Let me know what crown you go for tonight, and I will crack open a bottle of the same, unless you pick Crown Apple. Fuck that shit. I will not drink Crown Apple. Dan, who used to be on the channel's brother, drank a bottle and some of an extra bottle of Crown Apple in one night, and I got pictures of that guy drunk. It was hilarious. Like, I've had some good drunk times, and Crown Apple played a part for his brother's 4th of July party. But no, I will not be drinking Crown Apple. I just don't. I had it. I don't want a whole bottle of it. I'll stick with either original or what is it? Vanilla one's decent. But I'll let you know, Grand Inquisitor. I'll tell you guys as we start the thing. That'll be the opening previews of tonight's Last Jedi watch party. Will be like movie previews. Maybe there'll be 20 minutes of us, getting ready for the show, and then we'll start. because that gives enough people to file in, because you get the notification, oh man, they're live, I got to get there right now, I don't want to miss the movie type of thing, and then it's too much of a confusion. So we'll do it like a proper movie theater. Let's see, would I consider Office Space an SNL movie, being it was based off Milton? I don't consider Office Space an SNL movie. That's why Office Space wasn't mentioned, because if Office Space was mentioned, it would go Wayne's World, then Office Space, and then everything else would be the same. Because man, Office Space is a fantastic movie. Again, we talked about 1999 earlier in the stream. That's why I stand with 99 is a great year for movies. SNL movie, Ghostbusters is not an SNL flick. I would not call that an SNL flick. I usually say SNL flicks are the ones based off of SNL characters. So even though that kind of contradicts the Office Space thing, if they were to make a trying to think of something that appeared on, like, I don't really consider Mr. Bill an SNL TV show, the one that came out in the 90s. I don't know. I'd have to look down and break down the semantics. Makini90, thank you very much for your super chat. Really considering calling in sick from work today to watch the stream with you guys tonight. You got to do what you got to do. But if you're here, you will be more than welcomed, and I'll greatly appreciate that you would want to hang out with us that much that you'd want to call the time off of work. But I won't ever tell someone to do something bad just to watch our show. I want you to be here. I really want you to be here. So you make that call yourself, and if you show up, I'll be very happy and very thankful that you're here. Crown is overpriced corn liquor. Have some self-respect. I mean, do you want me to drink Everclear? Because I can drink that and we won't have a show. Crown Royal, I do like the flavor of it. I don't like Jack by itself. I have good times with Crown. I can chug it down easily and have a good time. Let's see. Best Steven Spielberg movie. One of the Indiana Jones of the original trilogy. I like Temple of Doom the best. I do think Raiders is a better made movie. So I guess if I'm just going from terms of quality or favorites, I'll give Raiders that nod. But I think Temple of Doom is, I just like it so much more. MacGruber. Oh, yeah, I forgot MacGruber's an SNL flick. MacGruber would not be high up on that list. I did not like that at all. Can I do a Spider-Man trilogy stream? Yeah. We're going to do that. Don't worry. Spider-Man stuff's going to come later. I need to get some people that are really into those movies. I might actually get some of the fans that are hardcore Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy fans to have a discussion with them. I got a friend named Dave who draws some web comics. I think it's Lightning Man's the name. Check him out. He's a nice guy. He loves Spider-Man. He was on our Homecoming thing. But I don't know, Dave. I don't know if he would like the nature of our show, because we're not for the faint of heart. We're definitely not for the faint of heart. Caplocks3, thank you for your super chat. You should drink a Nuka-Cola Quantum. Seriously. Sure, send me one. I usually drink whatever people send me over. Do I sketch anymore? Am I too busy? I'm too busy. I know people think like, oh, your channel doesn't have like 1 million subscribers and all that stuff. But even to maintain something like this as a one-man operation is a very time-consuming thing. So drawing is not in the cards at all right now. That's why I'm going to go into that back room and get my Wacom tablet, and I'm going to spend a week or two warming up before I give you guys my pitch for the comic book, because I don't want to give you guys some subpar art. That's all I'm saying. I want to make sure I get myself warmed up and get back to my inking practice and all the anatomy and shit. So when I do put out the Harrison Ford story and the other subsequent comics, depending on how the first ones do, I want to give you guys the best I can. And I'm definitely going to pay the best colors I can get to make sure we have an A product. What are my thoughts on John Boyega saying we don't care on Twitter? As a joke, I don't care about John Boyega. You know what, guys? In Hollywood, you can be smug bastards as long as you want. But when people don't show up to these movies and the Star Wars franchise is dead, we won't care either. So choose your words carefully. They may be your last. I love Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, T. Allen, not Tim Allen. Oh, Stevie Sparks, you've never heard of the Harrison Ford story? Well, we have this joke on the podcast. It's our first comic, mine, because I didn't come up with the concept, but I'm going to draw it. It's about Harrison Ford, about a group of fans that get pissed at The Force Awakens, so they kidnap Harrison Ford and keep him in the basement, and they make him reenact Star Wars. It's like Ruthless People, but funny. And I don't want to tell you the plot twist because I've written the story out, but it's really, really funny. And I'm not just saying that because I came up with it. When I read the stuff back, I'm like, all right, this works. I cannot wait to make this into a comic. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have an Indiegogo, and I want to top Ethan so I can find a way to try to make a movie and get the real Harrison Ford involved. People say, oh, it's a big dream, but yeah, I dreamed big about having a YouTube channel, and now that's a thing, and that grows all the time. So why not dream even bigger? If John Boyega is the next James Bond, I won't see that movie. And what happened to the plan to kidnap Harrison Ford? It's just going to get turned into an actual comic. It'll be a parody, so it'll be protected. And then the next one is a secret comic, and then the one after that will be shipping and handling, and then a couple other ones we'll do. And you know what? I'm thinking about doing a backup in the Harrison Ford book, like to give you guys extra stuff of how the world class bullshitters met in comic book form. So it'll be a lot of fun. Yes, John A., only I can make it a reality, and I'm going to make it a reality. I got a ton of great people that listen, and we can work together, and we can make it happen. So what do I think of AMLO? I'm a bit annoyed. Most people in the U.S. have the wrong idea. I don't even know anything about foreign politics. I'm sorry. I don't follow any of that stuff. Hell, I don't even know much about what's going on here. I just do my own thing right now. Michael B. Jordan as James Bond? No. Sorry, Darth Primus. I like you a lot, but no. Just stop. Put Channel Dad in the comic, too. Yeah, I could put Lape. Lape is our unofficial bullshitter. His daughter. Why does everyone like his daughter so much? She's so mean. Let's see. Who else is saying stuff? Let's see. I don't know what it stands for either, John. Alden Ehrenreich is the new James Bond. You make me want to go back to sleep when you say stuff like that. And then wake up and realize I'm alive and then go back to sleep. My email is worldclassbs@mail.com. Thebestmail.com. Finn is a joke character. So he'll be crashed into by Rose Tico tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or roughly 10 hours and 33 minutes from now. You think Lape's daughter is funny? I will let her know. I'll let her know. World Cup pick? I guess is France still in there? That's just the only country I can name off the top of my head that I know still in it, because I talked to Kendo about it for like 2 seconds last night. No Fast Times without Phoebe. Amy Heckerling directed that movie. So Wayne's World and Fast Times at Ridgemont High are two great movies that were directed by women that you don't know about, because it doesn't matter who directs the goddamn movie. That's not a PR spin. Make a great movie and you will get the respect you desire if you make a quality product. I'll try to stream The Last Jedi during the roast, but try not to shoot the TV this time. We need a diversity hire, so we enter Lape's we enter Lape's daughter. Oops, enter Lape's daughter. Sure, yeah, we'll have her on because we love a good diversity hire. So we'll close it out in just a minute. I gave you an extra 2 minutes, or an extra 2 minutes, an extra 30 minutes of good morning pop culture. Get some questions in. We can keep this rolling if some really hard-hitting ones that keep me rolling go, but that's up to you guys. Mondi, you're not going to see Lape's daughter on any of the videos because she'll show up when anytime Brian Lape's on. She's in the background playing some stupid video game, and she yells, and then we always respond back to her. And, It's funny. Have I met any porn stars? No. Nope. I have not. I've only met a handful of famous people, mostly wrestlers. My mom met Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell back in the 90s. Got his autograph for me. What do I think of Villeneuve and his Dune? I haven't seen the Blade Runner 2049 film yet, so I don't really know much about that guy. What is the first thing I do during the purge? Just rob a bank or something. I don't have any desire to hurt anybody physically. Just make a whole bunch of money, invest it throughout the year, lock it in a vault during the purge. So if all crime is legal, including cybercrime, you could like hack a bank and have that shit deposited into your account, and then it's legal that night. Do I have any of the Sansweet Star Wars toy archive books? I do not. I do not have that at all. I don't have any Star Wars toy books. I used to go to the library and read a lot of them, but I've never purchased any of them. Stan Winston, one of the greatest special effects artists of all time. Practical effects, I think, were cut down too early, but the stuff from Stan Winston was the best. He worked on Predator, the Terminator stuff, all kinds of movies, more than I can list off the top of my head. Aliens, right? He was on Aliens. His quality of work still is great today. Like, it still holds up today. So I think Stan Winston was probably the best. Thank you, Stuga123. Am I a fan of the Judge Dredd comic books? Yeah, the early stuff I read online a year and a half to 2 years ago, and I really liked what I was reading. Fanatics of Film, please forgive my plug, but I emailed you a link to a new video that you might love. Well, Fanatics of Film, thank you for your super chat, and I'll check it out in a few minutes. I'll check it out, and next time we're on, you can ask me what I thought about it. Yeah, the indecisive of the Obi-Wan movie shows they don't know what they're doing over at Lucasfilm. Ronda Rousey is coming near my town in September, but she has never been nude. Is a WWE show coming towards your house? Is that why? I've never read Slain or Rogue Trooper. Dennis is a good director. I gotta see something he's made, but I'm excited. Well, that's fine, John. Do me a favor, tag me in a post over on our Facebook page, and that's the best way to contact me where I won't lose the information or forget about it. WWE is coming to your neck of the woods. Good luck with that. Their shows are so bad now, even I don't watch them anymore. Thank you, Walter. Fuck it, let's go bowling. I appreciate that. So, folks, wait a minute. I saw CJ Peterson tell me to wait a minute, so I'm going to wait a minute. Tell me, CJ Peterson. I'm waiting. No, but folks, thank you to everyone who said you're going. I'm saying you're going now. You got to report back for the channel, dude. You're one of us now. One of us. But folks, thanks to everyone who stayed or woke up early for Good Morning Pop Culture. Thanks for everyone who stays up late, depending on what part of the world you're in, for this show to make it happen. It's a lot of fun. I used to love sleeping in and then doing channel work at my own leisure. But now that we got this show, I'm cool with getting up at the crack of dawn, eating a breakfast, drinking a bunch of cups of coffee, and talking to you fine folks for 2-3 hours every day. So I will be talking to you guys in a few short hours. I got to rest up for the Last Jedi commentary tonight, which is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. So, guys, Google what time that'll be in your neck of the woods and make sure you show up. We will be going on at 9, but we will have like a little lobby party until the movie starts, maybe 9:15 or 9:20. So if you can't make it exactly at 9 on the dot, get here. And if you have any issues with wanting to know where we are, we will always keep you updated on a timestamp. Logan Michael 69 $4.99. Thank you for your super chat. Well, when will the stream start tonight? Also, thanks for the stream. Have a good one. As I always tell you, Logan Michael, have a better one. As I said, it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I said a second ago, too, we will be just hanging out like this. We'll be talking. It'll be like a mini high council before the movie starts. And maybe we'll have Cecil come in towards the end and he can tear the movie apart during the credits or some shit like that. So it's going to be an entertaining night, to say the least. And then tomorrow I got to go to Kings Island and walk around a theme park all day. So that's going to be fucking insane. Highest Heights, thank you. So I appreciate your very nice message. I've given a pain to my name, and that is The Last Jedi. Good Batman reference. So, guys, we'll be back in just a few short hours. When will Pat be in? Also being anti-trekker, please. I'll contact Pat. I gotta get back with him. Oh man, Darth Hammer, I would skip that stream in a heartbeat too if I could go see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade on a 70mm blow up. Sorry guys, I would have the stream go live, and then I would go out and see Indiana Jones and come back at the end. Maybe I'll enjoy my life. No, but thanks again, folks. It's been a great week of world-class bullshitters. It's been a lot of fun, and be on the lookout for our next video as well as our next few streams. And I think on Sunday night at 8 p.m. we're going to have a Patreon hangout stream. So if you guys want to be involved with that, let me know and have your questions for our patron. So talk to you guys later, and wish me luck.